Wouldn't that be a good idea, though?
I could draw it.
You definitely need to do that.
I do have drawing skills.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Ooh.
What?
We haven't seen your drawing skills.
I got drawing skills.
We certainly haven't seen your photo skills either.
Ooh.
My drawing skills.
Drawing?
You don't want to see my photos.
Well, I'm going to critique your photos one day. We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But I think it would be a really good idea what we're talking about.
Yes.
I got you, bro.
Well, we'll figure that out. All right, let's get into the show because we have a lot of photo news, we have a lot of flying solo, and we have a lot of Todd stuff to talk about. Well, not a lot of Todd stuff, just we'll get to that.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. A lot of Todd stuff all the time.
Jared Poland, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 149. We're inching our way closer to 150.
We're getting there.
Which is then closer to 200.
Are you going to do it at 250?
250.
We're going to have the celebration.
250 celebration. So
Not
that's
like
enough.
253 or some random number.
No, that's 101 more episodes.
Oh my god.
Wait a second. That's 2 years.
Oh man.
That's 2 years.
I can't believe we've been doing it for this long already.
And we're so big. We're like the best podcast
The biggest
ever.
and bestest podcast.
Do you know what I write in the sub when it asks for a subtitle?
Best podcast ever?
Best podcast ever, least boring photo related podcast. Because I think most
You put that where?
in the subtitle. I don't even know if it shows up anywhere. Maybe it does, but it's like all other photo podcasts are garbage. Not all, some.
You put that?
No, most.
Oh, I thought you put that too. Oh
No.
my God.
I make it just sound so pretentious that you have to know that it's not legitimate, but I really do think it. Well,
Okay.
you know the reason a lot of people don't understand why RAWtalk is the way it is. It's this way. Fun and informative has always been everything on YouTube.
Always been the model.
That's been my motto since day one of starting, fun and informative. And when it came to making a podcast, it had to be fun and informative and couldn't be the same boring, lame, photo talk, tech gear, BS sounding. Like most of the other ones that are out there that are photo related are just boring. So that's why I don't do it like that.
And in the beginning, wasn't it just you doing like flying solo questions for like an hour or something?
Nah,
like
the
that?
beginning, Todd was on episode what, 4?
I was on
Killed
episode.
it.
I was on episode 2.
No.
Yeah.
Why would you have Steven?
Because he worked at the news radio station and he shot in the pit with me.
Yeah.
Desperate.
So the original RAWtalk, the way that it started is Leora was the sidekick, or I was working with Leora to be the sidekick. And she would sit here, I would sit here, and we would try to get a guest each week.
And you had poker chips.
And I had poker chips, which I would give out for good good answers, and the person who had the most... But inevitably... I forgot to give out the poker chips each week, and then it would come to the end, and I'd be like,
yeah.
I'm like, I forgot the poker chips. But then the first couple episodes were just audio because it was recommended that podcasts are only audio, and I was like,
Well, and if you did
No.
video anyway, the pop filters. Remember we used to have them, and the
Yeah,
old
big
microphones
pop
would
filters.
just cover our face because it was pretty much, first and foremost a podcast, which it still is, but
Yeah.
it's definitely more video driven today.
Well, but podcasting in the last 3 years has changed.
Yeah, it's
we
true.
have a visual means of doing this, and that's why we do it. All right, let's get to the Pluggy McPluggerson.
do it.
Plug me.
Something new came in the mail that I wasn't expecting. I thought it was actually something from Canon.
You're
Because
not
there's-
going to show that, are you? The thing that came in the mail? Please. You keep texting me that picture, and I have to keep deleting it. Because I'm
every
afraid my
day.
daughter's going to pick up my phone and see that picture.
You know
Anyway.
what? Doc Johnson, I don't have control over that.
Is that where that came from? Oh.
Somebody sent it. It wasn't, I didn't ask for it. It just showed up one
It makes
day.
me
gag
feel
gift, I
inadequate, is
assumed.
what it does.
Well, how about when I put it next to the lens, the Sigma lens? Does that give you some perspective on how big that thing is?
Yeah, it makes me feel like I missed out in the gene pool.
I think Atomos is going to be happy that we're talking about Doc Johnson's while they put out a new product.
man.
They put out a new product that, like I said, in the mail, I thought the Canon was coming, the M3 that they're sending, or whatever, the EOS M3?
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
Their newer mirrorless.
But I
camera.
opened up the box and it said Atomos Ninja Assassin. Ooh. And I'm like, what the hell is the Ninja Assassin? And they gave me some information. You and I were discussing it. We're like,
Yep.
wait a second. Is this like the baby brother to the Shogun?
Because it looks almost identical.
It looks
to the
almost
Shogun.
identical to the Shogun. I think it's a little smaller. Sorry, maybe not as thick. Actually, it's
I don't
pretty
know. I think
similar
it's about
to
the same.
You know what? It's about the same.
It looks about the same size. Now it does come with the bumper, which is nice.
Well, it comes with the bumper, which you can
Yeah.
purchase for that Shogun.
can, okay,
but the
cool.
main specs to this, because that one's $2,000, right?
yes,
It's $2,000 for the Shogun. This is
Roughly.
$1,295.
that's great.
7-inch monitor, same as the one that's in that, and you know how much we love this monitor.
That monitor is great. The best monitor I've used,
You
personally.
have the internal 4K recording, whereas, yes, the new Sony cameras and a lot of other, the new Panasonic we're going to talk about later, do internal 4K. They don't do it the way that the Atomos is going to do it.
10-bit 422.
Where you go through the HDMI out of the camera, you're getting a clean signal right off of the sensor. You're getting all of that information in professional, like they call it Hollywood-style formats. So that's other things. What did they write here? The Ninja Assassin is 10% lighter and 35% more affordable than the award-winning Shogun. Priced at $12.95, the Ninja Assassin is a dedicated 4K HD. Oh, yeah. So we were trying to figure out what's the difference.
Yes.
You and I. And we were having that discussion. We're like, well, what's the difference between, other than pricing? This is more designed for people with DSLRs.
Or mirrorless.
DSLR or mirrorless cameras. Anything that's going to record 4K. Even if you don't have a 4K camera, this is going to be great for 1080.
I was going to say, it can be 1080 too, yeah.
We would use this all day long. One, it would let you record all day long as long as you have enough recording capability.
Hard drive
Sorry,
space. Yeah.
hard drive space. But the one thing that I kept coming back to was the fact that if you're doing video and you need to get a monitor for previewing, for peak, for what are the zebras, focus peaking, which this all has, you're going to spend the small HD ones are like $3,000.
They get really expensive.
So a monitor, you could spend $800 to $1,000 just for a good monitor. Now you're going to get a great freaking monitor and the recording capabilities all in one fell swoop for $1,300. $12.95. That's one of the things that I love about it.
And the 2.5-inch hard drives that it takes are so inexpensive these days as well.
Right, and you can put SSDs in here.
Buy a million different mags.
The only thing this doesn't come with is a battery, but if you have any of those Sony batteries, which any filmmaker that has lights or anything is going to have
50 of those
You're going to have
batteries.
those Sony batteries.
Yeah.
Record right into ProRes or DNX.
I use Final Cut, so it's already going to be native to Final Cut. You plug it in, it doesn't need to do anything to it. It's ready to go. The files are bigger, but if you're using Final Cut and it's making optimized media, it's already going to make those files.
Regardless.
So why double your files then?
So let me point out some of the differences, because that's what we were trying to figure out. What are the differences between the Shogun and this? The Shogun has other inputs that you're not really running into with your DSLR.
More of the high-end inputs,
I think I wrote those down. Did I write them down? I don't think I wrote it down. No, I got rid of those.
Now,
but
this just has HDMI,
This just
correct?
has HDMI. It doesn't have the SDI like the other one has. But HDMI is what we personally would use. So
For us, yes.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
anybody
it's
with
perfect for a DSLR mirrorless situation. Can I see it?
when we were done talking.
Damn it! I
God,
want to
turn.
hold it. I want to touch it.
Now, I see it has a little kickstand, too.
It does have a kickstand.
It's kind of a little,
Does it?
it's convenient.
Well, what I actually like is if you're shooting 4K and you have a 4K projector or 4K TV, you can plug this right into it and project that onto your screen. It also has that. What is the way that Jaffe did the music video in that? Using those
anamorphic?
Yeah, it does anamorphic or whatever.
So you can set it to show you like
Yes.
4:3
Yes.
and anamorphic
Yes.
and all that. That's nice.
1:1
nice.
and 2:1 or whatever that means.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wait, okay, I'll just read the quick things. Waveform, vector scope, RGB parade. Wow, there's an RG. Is that like LGBT parade?
Close.
It's not the same thing. Focus peaking, zebra, false color, blue only. I don't even know
all
what
the
blue
stuff
only
you'll
is.
pretty much find in a pretty high-end monitor.
Here, Joe, can you show this to Todd? And that's it. That's all we're going to say about that. But for $12.95, if you're looking for a monitor by itself, and then you get something like this, you can't go wrong. I can't wait for us to take this with us and start using it. Because we use the XC10
Yep.
to be able to do, well, you can already do unlimited with that, but we can do a cleaner video off of that camera with that.
Oh yeah, and they all pass through, so you could
Can
go
I watch
into this
YouTube
and then go
videos on there?
Then you could go out to another monitor if need be.
Yep.
If you have another monitor, yeah, this
Exactly.
is sharp.
So I know Hing uses it for a certain thing. Hing was telling us that I think Hing picked up a Shogun or something because he would walk around doing recording, and he never thought that would be a great thing because he can monitor and record at the same time. Because remember, he would have like external monitors and an external recorder.
Yep.
Now this combines it all into one. All right, enough about that. Go to Atomos.com. Check it out. Any of the Atomos products. If you're doing video, great for monitors. And there's going to be an affordable option for you, all the way up to a $2,000 option, and everywhere else in between.
I'm going to steal this one, by the way.
No.
I'm taking that home.
No, you're not. Todd, let's talk about you now. You
Not
told
me taking this home?
No. You told Steven or did you tell me? Who'd you tell that you shot a wedding this weekend?
Oh, because I'm a multitasker.
Yeah,
I do. You have no idea the links of my talents.
Let's talk about this wedding because one, we know how you shoot. I know you're not a photographer.
Oh, I am a photographer, right? Oh my God, it's the best photographer ever. Friends of my wife were getting married and trying to keep it very low cost, and they were just,
Typical.
They just wanted to get married and just have couple family and friends, very small, low key affair. And,
low key.
And my wife obviously like, well, Todd has a camera. My wife obviously sounds like Taco Bell Becky.
He's a videographer, so he's also
a
photographer.
videographer. He's got a camera in his house in that basement. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take pictures. They're cool. We hang out with them. So I was like, oh, well, the day came, and I was like, well, what would Jared do? I've seen
WWJD.
I've seen
new T-shirt.
Oh God.
WWJD.
And so I was like, oh well, let me put on my black pants and my black shirt because that's what all the wedding photographers do. I guess that's all I need to do. But
have you ever shot a wedding?
No. No. I mean, I've been in one, so I know what happens.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
But that's the thing. I mean,
that.
as long as you kind of know what the beats are and know what to expect, I was like, I kind of know what's going to happen. But coincidentally, I remastered your beginner's guide recently.
Yeah. Refreshed your memory.
So I was like, thank God for that. Because I was like, I think I'm going to use shutter priority. I'm going to use aperture priority because that's what Jared said in the video guide. So I got my black clothes on. I brought my 5D Mark III, 70-200, 24-70, 16-35.
Well, you have the right gear.
Yeah, and
But the question is, did you shoot RAW?
I did.
Really?
I did.
I'm actually shocked.
You'd be very proud of me.
And,
I was like, because I didn't want to hear your mouse. I was like, if they ever see these pictures, I'm not going to hear the end of it.
Well, I told you I want to critique them and
I can't wait.
And do it on camera. Because how did you edit them?
Oh, I'm editing them in iPhoto.
Yes.
How did you manage to pick iPhoto of all things?
I don't do photos. I take pictures of my family, I put them in my photo, and they just stay there. And if I have to print them, I tweak them a little bit, and I'm done.
I didn't even realize iPhoto had raw native support.
It does.
Why didn't you try Lightroom?
Does. I don't own Lightroom.
Todd, you can get a 30-day free trial.
Could use Aperture.
I actually think I'm lying. Does the production suite have Lightroom?
Is that the $50 a month one?
No, that's the one that I had that was like...
It should
$1,800 when I bought it.
Come
CS6 production suite.
Yeah, I believe so.
No, but Photoshop opens the raw files the same way. It has this.
Yeah, but it's not the best for bulk editing.
Yeah,
it
just seems more complicated.
All right, so
I just wanted to have.
What's the moral? How did you do?
I took like 1,000 pictures, which is
way too much.
It is way too, especially for a small affair.
But I
don't think that's bad.
But I knew I was missing shots the whole time. Look, I am not a photographer,
shooter, right?
Huh?
No second shooter.
No,
I assume.
It was only me. And I was just like, I was just trying to get everything. And I was like, I'd rather get too many pictures. I'd rather get lots of mess ups and have 100 good pictures to give them.
Well, that's normal for your first time out.
And I gave them like half the pictures. I got all the way through the ceremony. I didn't get any of the reception. And I gave them like 50 shots. And I thought they were pretty good.
That is a pretty bad percentage.
Oh. I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I would not want you to see the rest of my shots.
I want to see them all.
We want all of them.
I mean, we can. Well, and that's the thing. I flipped between shutter priority and aperture priority, and I couldn't figure out. I was like, maybe I should be full manual, and I was like, but I don't do it enough to be fast enough to do it.
To do manual.
I got it. Yeah.
Because for me, I would do manual just because I'm so used to it, and we're so used to
I can't do it that fast. And I was like, this isn't like what I do normally. And Jared will tell you, I'm used to doing very scripted things.
It's true.
So I have the chance to be like, Jared, do it again. Jared, do it again. Jared, I can't tell this couple to do it again. So I was like, I need help. So I put it in, I think I stayed in aperture priority for like when people weren't really moving.
This was indoors or outdoors?
It was outdoors, luckily.
Okay.
And then when it was dancing and things like that at the reception, I went to shutter priority.
All right, so here's the moral of the story. I would like to critique your work. I'm going to critique it. This is how I'm going to critique it.
I gotta ask the bride.
Even if the bride doesn't say yes, we won't critique it publicly. If she says no, we won't critique it publicly, that's fine.
Okay.
I just want to help you out. I'm going to critique it as if this is your first wedding.
Well, it was.
It is.
It was.
And knowing that you really don't take pictures.
And that's
so you're not going to be harsh.
The only thing I have going for me is I'm very familiar with what a wedding happens at a wedding, obviously.
Which is, I think, the most important thing, probably.
Exactly. And then I obviously know composition and like the 180 rule,
but
and getting the coverage, like getting my wide.
What
getting
does 180
doesn't
what
matter
does
with
180
stills.
have to do
really
with it?
doesn't. But I that's how I shot. I went out and got wides. I got coverage. I got I was running around the circle of like the
that's
whole
funny.
thing to try to get her reaction.
I can't
his
cross the
reaction,
line.
different stuff, and there was actually no place for me to go behind them anyway.
Now, no
so.
flash, right? I assume you did.
I don't have a flash.
And the
that's what I
5D,
thought.
yeah.
So that a lot of like this when the pictures when it got dark because it was outside partially and then it started mixing light. There was outdoor tungsten lights and then half daylight and it just got sloppy at the end. But
Let's
the
move
daytime
on.
stuff was great.
What I'm going to do is hopefully we will do a special edition video critiquing Todd's first wedding.
Oh, I can't wait.
Seriously, no, I will do
wait.
it. I will do it in the most educational and honest, straightforward. I won't be ripping him apart because I understand what I say about critiques, and we're currently going through the 30 critiques in 30 days.
Yes.
If you haven't checked that out, go over to fronosphoto.com. The 30 critiques in 30 days are going up each day in the month of September. This would just be something totally separate. I really am interested to see your shots, and I guarantee you I'll be able to point out setting changes and composition and things for you to look for in the future.
And I will also throw into the mix an added bonus, an added hitch that Jared already knows about when you shoot couples of different races.
Oh.
So my wife's friend is Caucasian, and her groom now, her husband now, is African American, and trying to expose to get both of them properly when
tough.
she's in a pure white dress.
Yep.
And his complexion is a little bit darker.
And he's wearing a dark suit?
And he's wearing a dark suit.
Oh,
and
geez.
trust me, I nailed some good stuff that I was like, I don't even know how that exposure came out, but it worked.
All right.
So
Cool.
It's going to be interesting.
it's going to be
Very
horrible.
interesting.
It's going to be a horrible experience.
I can't wait.
All right, speaking of the 30 for 30.
Yes.
The 30 for 30. If you haven't checked out Adorama Picks to get aluminized prints, you know I love the metal prints. They have a code PXMETFRO30.
METHOD, man. Sorry.
PXMETFRO30 to get 30% off metal prints, all metal prints that you order. I don't care if it's 1, 10, 100, or 1,000. You'll get 30% off all of them until 9/30/15.
What's the biggest size they do?
They do 24 by
In-house.
36 is the largest full frame that they do.
Aluminized,
I
okay.
think they may make a 40 by 40 square. Still figuring
Big
it out.
Instagram photo I'll blow up.
I should print one of those wedding photos as like a gift.
There you go.
Do you want to? We can do that.
Amazing. I should do that.
Do you want it on metal or do you want it on canvas or something?
I'll have to ask you about it. You're gonna have to guide me there.
All right,
But that
and
would
the
be a surprise.
The
That'd
last
be
thing
cool.
is the third annual.
Pardon?
The third
again?
annual.
What was that?
Allen's.
What's that?
The third annual.
Huh?
It's almost the same. It's just an extra N and a U. The third annual Allen's Nikonapalooza is September 12th. So if
Coming
you're
up.
listening to this, you better come there. There's a couple days. Saturday.
Let's
Oh.
just show up. There's no tickets.
Well,
Nothing.
just show up. It's free. And I don't care if you have Canon or Olympus or Sony. This is a gathering of photographers.
I'm a
that's
Canon shooter.
So happens to be sponsored by Nikon.
Yep.
It just is what it is. If you have Nikon gear, bring it out to get cleaned because they're cleaning your sensors. Get there early for that. We will be hanging out. There will be great deals. There will be a D750 being given away. So just show up. No matter what you have, show up.
Todd, have you decided if you're coming?
I'm on the fence.
Still maybe.
I'm going to see if Taco Bell Becky can come because I know she's really trying to get into the game. And now that I think about it, that's actually my wedding anniversary.
Really?
It actually is September 12th. Yeah.
That
We've been
date-
doing this for 3
that
weeks
date didn't
now.
strike your mind a couple of weeks.
You're going to be there.
I think it's the 13th.
Oh, my God. All right, Todd. We're going to move on.
Moving on.
We're going to move on to photo news because we have a lot to get to.
We do.
Photo news. Why don't we do wedding bells music to go with Todd's anniversary, forgetting it, and Todd shooting his first wedding? Why don't you pick music that symbolizes Todd's first wedding quality of work?
Excellent.
All right,
Ready?
on 3, 2, 1. This is brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro. And here's the music. Okay, let's get to photo news.
We've got really big news, the biggest news story of the week. That look at this photograph guy.
Look at this photograph.
You know him pretty well.
Every time I do, I make you.
Him and Avirl, your girl, officially got separated.
I saw this on Twitter yesterday, and I'm like, Steven, this is photo news.
Perfect.
You want to know why it's photo news? Because he wrote a song about photos, and that's why it was cool.
Oh my God! Yeah, so she's officially single.
Avril's officially single.
Not officially divorced yet, but they've been together for 2 years.
Only like 2 years.
I mean, how old is she?
Super long relationship.
14 still?
She's not 14, Todd.
She's probably like 30 at this point.
She's probably close to 30.
There's no way she's 30.
Get on Wikipedia.
She's probably
look up Avirl Lavigne. I think she's probably 29.
Yep.
I've loved Avirl for a long time.
You have.
I would be her skater boy.
Ooh.
I would say, see you later, boy. I will be your next something at the show. But then that one video she has, hey, you, I don't like your boyfriend. Hey, you, I think you like me. But it's not that one. It's the one she wakes up and rolls out of bed in her panties.
Oh,
yeah, that was good. She's 30.
She's 30.
Wow.
See? Look at that,
Boom.
Todd. Look at that photograph.
Amazing.
Oh, her birthday's coming up.
That's when it starts going downhill at 30.
I think that's Todd's anniversary too,
Well,
right?
I will
Something
be
like that?
reaching out to Avirl. Guys, I think we need to hashtag Avirl say hello to Fro.
That's a long hashtag.
Okay, let's come up with a better hashtag like Fro wants Avirl.
Yeah, that's better.
Hashtag Fro wants Avirl and at Avirl Lavigne's Twitter on that, please.
And you too.
And at me at it, because I wanna be her photograph.
I'd be super creepy about it.
I would, but see, I won't go up to her and be like, I will be your Chad Kroger, because that won't work anymore.
And you can't be her, Derek Wibley, whatever his name was.
Yeah,
Wibley?
no.
Not anymore. Canon has filed a new patent for an expandable LCD screen that will fit the entire back of the camera. Now, the recently published patent features a hinge-like set of buttons that will serve as your main back camera buttons like usual. But instead of being fixed, you can actually slide them out of the way, revealing the entire LCD screen on the back. Now, my only concern is when you're holding up the camera, if you lose grip, if the hinge slips or something like that, and the LCD screen messes up the shot or all of that. But it looks like a cool concept. Maybe more for mirrorless compact cameras, but
that could be interesting.
Did you see this at all?
I saw the drawing, but it didn't really look like a rendering or anything. It was just a drawing.
It was just a patent, yeah. It was nothing really in the books yet.
It was just a drawing.
A drawing.
Keep going. I got to get something out of my bag.
Okay.
Real quick.
Next story. Instagram now finally supports landscaped and portrait formats, so you're not forced to go the whole square format route anymore. Now, this isn't just for stills either. It also works for video. The company revealed that nearly 1/5 of uploaded photos and videos aren't in square format. They say square format has been and always will be part of who we are. That said, the visual story you're trying to tell should always come first, and we want you to make it simple and fun for you to share moments just the way you want to. Now, here's how it works when importing. You got it? You good?
Yeah, keep going.
Now, here's how it works.
Oh, no.
So when importing a photo or video into the app, in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a new format icon that will keep your image in its original aspect ratio versus the standard square format. Now, keep in mind that when looking at someone's profile in grid view, the images are still cropped in square format, displayed that way. It still kind of crops the image, though, at least what I've witnessed.
But now that you can resize the image slightly in there and hit that button, I like it a lot better.
Yeah, it is better, but it still crops a little bit off the long edges.
Do you know what that new arrowy squiggly button is?
The new arrowy squiggly button?
Yeah, it's next to the heart and next to the other thing.
Yes, that's what I'm going to talk about right now.
Oh, okay.
So they've also...
Spoiler.
They've also improved their Instagram Direct service to act more like Snapchat, pretty much. Now, the service lets you send any image directly from your feed to someone privately, just like before. But they also now created a thread where users can go back and forth with each other, sending images or text just like Snapchat instead of just single individual pictures.
It's still weird.
But the service added the ability to name your groups as well. They also put in a quick camera feature in the thread, and you can do more emojis and stuff like that. Now, to start, like you said, the squiggly thing, there's an arrow icon under every post now in your feed that will let you create a new direct thread from that picture and send it to someone.
I've got like 40 of them that people have sent me that I'm not friends with, so I can't I can read them, but I don't want to.
Okay. And now they say
I don't even know what they are.
They're direct messages. It's like a direct Snapchat. Pretty much.
I got pictures sent to me too, and I'm like, what the hell are these pictures?
Yeah, and you can reply to it.
Did
with
you see
emojis,
that one on Twitter that somebody tagged us in?
Which one was it?
The one about Snapchat that was naked women.
Oh, I did. I didn't understand what that was.
I
was
didn't
like,
understand what that was.
How is that in my feed?
I'm like, why is this here?
Now, you can also send hashtag pages and location pages by tapping the arrow icon in the top right-hand corner as well. So it's not just pictures. But I didn't think many people use the actual direct message service. But they say that more than 85 million people use direct every single month, which is kind of mind-blowing.
If everybody can't see it, then it never, ever happened. I want the world to know everything I do.
You know when I went to check my bag?
Yes.
It's because I was at a restaurant. And they had crayons.
Oh, they're like old school crayons, too.
No, they're not.
Crowns.
That's just crayons.
Crayons.
Crayons?
Is that crowns?
Where'd you get 'em from?
Crayons. Like cray?
Like that you put on your head? Like crowns?
Not crowns.
Like you so cray. Girl,
So,
you so cray.
I looked at these and they say...
How to pronounce it?
Conforms to all different things. Non-toxic, brilliant colors. Yeah, right. Made in China. So I haven't opened them yet, but really you could tell already it's a crappy box. And let me tell by the smell, because you can tell how crayons are by their smell.
You should taste it too. You
Yeah, I mean they're not toxic. Just bite it.
Yeah,
Eat it.
yeah. Just stick it up your nose all the way. A little more. Did you get any winners?
It really doesn't smell good. Like, let's see. Like the determining factor is how it crumbles. Yeah, it doesn't lay down a good thing of wax.
Are you pressing hard?
Yes, I'm pressing hard.
It didn't break yet.
I don't know. It doesn't look like your arms are kind of small today.
Yeah, these.
What are you doing? Like a
Oh my God! It's
half-ass tic-tac-toe?
no. I'm just drawing lines, dude. Don't mess with my art.
He can't see
Your
the
lines
page.
aren't straight, Jared.
Don't make fun of him. He can't see the page.
I don't like these. I don't like these crayons.
Oh my God.
They are not good at all.
not good at all.
And there's my drawing.
Tic-tac-toe.
My drawing.
Kind of.
I don't like those crayons. The moral of the story here is that Crayola is the only way to go. If you think that you can get away with using China crowns,
Name brand or bust.
You are
crowns?
wrong.
China crowns?
China crowns.
Crowns.
Crayons.
Crowns?
Crayons, Steven. Say it right.
You said
just
China
said
crowns.
crowns.
I did not.
Oh my God.
Do not replay that. Crayons are meant to be waxy, a good texture between wax, and they lay down a good amount. This feels very chalky. There's more chalk in here than crayon wax.
As long as they shut your kid up at Denny's, I'm super good.
Exactly.
Denny's is a racist organization.
Or as long as they shut your kid up at Taco Bell. Because I get my crowns at Taco Bell, Jared. You stop being an asshole.
I don't even think they have crayons at Taco Bell. Not that I've ever been in. I've never eaten Taco Bell. I never will eat Taco
I've
Bell.
painted the bathroom at Taco Bell a couple times, but my bad.
Was that after eating it or before?
Thank you for connecting the dots.
Oh.
Next up, Polaroid has announced a new 10-megapixel instant camera. It's called the Snap.
Snap.
They're calling it the perfect blend of nostalgic Polaroid instant photography and sleek modern design.
Polaroid, will you just go away?
The Snap puts a modern twist
nice.
on a classic. Form factor-wise, it's about the size of a standard compact camera and matches the color scheme of their latest Cube camera and that zip printer that they have.
That's a terrible printer.
Now, it creates 2x3-inch prints in just under a minute using their zinc technology.
Oh, the zinc technology is the worst
You're not a fan of.
ever. And it's not just me saying that it's the worst ever. It's
haven't
all
used
of
it.
the industry saying it's the worst. It is horrid.
What's wrong with zinc?
Again, they're trying to make... See, Polaroid... I love Polaroid. I have, 40 Polaroids up on my shelf?
Mm-hmm.
Vintage original. That was a great company. Somebody bought the name and is trying to put out cameras under the name Polaroid.
Yep.
And it's not the same thing. Of course it's not. But this zinc technology, this Z-Ink technology is like a dye sublimation type thing. Or actually it's not. It's something in the paper has I think the paper, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. I think the paper has multiple layers of emulsions or something similar so that each layer is a different color and then somehow it makes it into a print. And it looks terrible.
Now, Instax, they use something different, right?
Well,
Fuji?
Instax is the same thing, is similar to what Polaroid was. It's an instant film.
It's an actual, yeah.
It's chemicals
That's
in
what I
there
mean.
underneath the plastic, and when it comes out, it hits the rollers and
like a legit
and it
photograph.
starts to develop.
Gotcha.
Now, these printers have nothing on the Game Boy printer. Remember the Game Boy printer back in the day? It was like 5 dots.
I thought you were going to say like some legit printer. The Game Boy printer.
The Game Boy printer. Like the Game Boy camera.
Like
Holy
that.
God, was that terrible.
Did
you have a Game Boy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Original Game Boy.
I'm a huge.
All right, we
video
couldn't.
game
We couldn't afford it. All right.
Really?
The original Game Boy. Well,
Weren't you balling in members only jacket money?
that was in the 80s.
Oh.
As soon as the 90s hit, my dad's business just went to hell in a handbasket.
He didn't move over to cross colors.
No. He didn't get over into the Coogee game.
Best.
But a new hardware store was opening up, and they had a basketball game for the kids to play, and the high score was going to win the Game Boy. So I'm no good at this basketball thing. My brother, on the other hand, he was good.
Is he?
We got the phone call that we won the Game Boy. The original big, thick one.
Yeah.
And it had Tetris, and we just played that. Well, he played it, and I had to wait till he was done playing it.
Did you eventually upgrade to like the Game Boy Color when that came out?
No,
like the
we were
smaller
older. We
ones?
never got into the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
We never got into. We didn't have another. I got into a Sega Game Gear. I got a Game Gear, which was terrible. That thing chewed up the 8
never got
batteries
it.
so fast.
So you weren't allowed to play with it because you didn't win it.
No, I was allowed to play with it. We always shared.
It's mine, Jared.
No, I had to wait till he wasn't playing it or smacking it when he got upset because he lost.
Oh, man.
He used to bang it when he lost.
That's funny.
Well, and if we played a 2-player game, he used to punch me in the arm if I won. Or hit reset.
All right, now back to the story. Again, it uses their zinc technology, 2x3-inch prints. You can print in color, black and white, and they even let you do a vintage Polaroid look. Prints also have the option of having the classic white border, the Polaroid border that you're used to. There's no need to wait for printing either. New photos can be snapped while existing ones are printing. And as far as the digital aspect goes, images are saved on a micro SD card, and it'll hold up to a 32 gig micro SD card.
And what do the images look
Also
like?
has a pop-up viewfinder. I don't know. They don't really have any sample images or any preview video or nothing just yet.
Yeah, that's a
that
failure.
I saw.
It's a secret.
But it'll be available later this year. Now, the one thing I do like is the price. It's only $99.
Well, how much is the zinc? See, their whole thing is they want you to buy the bullshit paper.
Yeah, I don't know how much
yeah.
the paper costs, but the actual camera itself is $99, and it comes in red, white, blue, or black.
What they should really do is when the print comes out, there should be audible noise. It should say, "Look at this photograph."
Now, what I've heard is that the zinc prints don't last as long as the regular, like Fuji prints or whatever it may be.
Well, yeah, the Fujis are going to
Impossible.
last. The
Yeah.
Z Ink, I think light would
That's what I mean.
deteriorate
Apparently,
it.
the light fades it pretty quickly
Yeah, because
compared
they
to the other
suck.
prints.
It's a bad technology. That's why Polaroid went out of business.
Tamron
How
has
do you really feel?
Tamron has announced 2 new fast primes. An SP, their super performance, their high-end glass.
I didn't even know that's what it stood for.
That's what it stands for. 35mm and 45mm f1.8 DIVC USD lens. As the name hints, both lenses are image stabilized. The designs have been optimized too, almost mirroring Sigma's like art lenses, with a 20% increase on their distance scale window and new switches and rings. Their lens hood and caps have also been re-engineered to be more durable and have a tighter fit. Now, spec-wise, the 35 has the world's first 7.8-inch minimum distance focus for a full-frame DSLR lens. Other specs for both lenses include minimal vignetting, they say even when wide open, E-band coating to prevent ghosting and flare, their ultrasonic silent drive, the USD part, fluorine coating like every other lens these days, a weather-resistant construction, and a 9-blade circular aperture. Now, both lenses will be available on Canon and Nikon mounts, and will be released in October, and they say Sony Alpha mounts are coming soon. Price-wise, it's only going to be $599 for either lens. And they have a preview video of the lenses being used by photographer Christian Altengarten.
Oh, yeah.
A German photographer?
Yeah, I drank beers with him in college.
Christian,
Yeah, I did.
Every guy.
He's a
You drank
great
with a lot
son
of
of a
people in
bitch.
college.
Yeah, absolutely. Party hard.
Christian Attengarten.
Oh, my God.
Drink another one. Drink another one, Christian.
Let me drink another one. Oh, what are you studying in school?
Yeah, drink another Old Natural.
Oh, I got it. But don't we have class tomorrow?
No, have another beer bong.
Have another a Kolsch.
Hey.
Oh, man.
By the way, we just got a text.
Yeah.
Our new sandbags have arrived.
Ooh,
and
nice.
if they suck, you guys owe me money.
Well, Steven ordered the best once before.
We should be good.
Well,
we should be good this time.
Dude, if not, I will be so pissed
These ones
off.
are double zippered, so
They're
hopefully they
double
won't
zipper.
leak like crazy like the first ones.
I
we
wish
got.
my jeans had a double zipper.
So
Now that I
what?
think about
Hold what back?
Well, I mean, didn't you ever? I mean, sometimes you walk out of the door with your fly down, and you're like, "Oh, my bad."
No.
This is to prevent the fly
Well, I
from
mean,
being down?
sometimes you do. You ever think about it? You're just like, I forgot to put my fly up.
Well, yeah, I walk like that. People are like your fly. People are afraid to tell you.
And
But
I have underwear that's as old as Joe. So then the flap is probably
just
a little
Taco Bell
the
stains
flap's
everywhere.
a little like loosey. And then sometimes your junk will just fall out the flap. And then if you've got a double breach, if you have a double breach, and all of a sudden you're hanging brain when you're picking up people at school, that's not cool, man.
Oh my
all right,
God.
back to this.
Panasonic has announced an upgrade to the GH4, their new GH4R. Now, the camera features only a minor upgrade to the standard GH4, offering now unlimited 4K recording internally. Now, before there was a 2959 limit, like most cameras, and it also features a new V-Log video profile that will give you an additional 2 stops of dynamic range, along with better post-production capabilities, obviously. And the body should be available later this month for around $1,800. And for those interested in just the V-Log profile, they can upgrade their current GH4s with a firmware update that'll cost them $99.
Cost them $99.
Yeah,
Are you
for
guys
the
kidding me?
upgrade. They're
Are you
charging
kidding
for
me?
the firmware update.
Are you kidding me?
I assume because this new camera doesn't offer that much, so that's their selling point. That's why they're charging
Yeah,
for the
but
firmware
come
update.
on. Update the firmware. Just give people the firmware. It's like when you go to Las Vegas and my room costs me $62. My inconvenience fee is $27.
Gotta love it.
Are you kidding? I got my inconvenience fee removed last time.
I think you
heard.
always get it removed,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah, so
Or
I
try
walk up.
to.
So for anybody that doesn't know, because you just don't know, is that a convenience fee is this bullshit thing that hotels give you that say. It's funny how the low-end hotels don't have convenience fees. They just have free amenities.
That's true.
Free ice machine.
You'd think it'd be the
free
opposite.
towels. Free internet.
Free toilets.
Yeah, and then you get to these other places. Like I was staying at the New York, and it's all of the hotels. Your convenience fee is $27 a day extra. That's your resorts fee. That's for pool towels and access to the fitness club. I'm like, charge the people that want to go to the fitness club to go to the fitness club.
all the stuff we know
and
we don't
it
use.
includes internet.
I'm already spending too much on hookers. I don't want this on my bill.
And so I just sit there and like, if you guys just included it, do you know how much added value that would give a customer to say, you know what? The gym is free. The towels are free. The internet, we cover that for you. It doesn't cost you that much. Anyway, so I went up to the front desk before checking out, and I'm like, I'm just gonna, I don't want to pay this inconvenience fee today.
I'm sorry, Jared. You have to pay it. That's just how New York does it. I'm sorry.
And I said to the woman, I'm like, I've had it removed. She's like, well, we never remove it. And I'm like, well, yes, you do remove it because I've had it removed numerous times before for many different reasons. She's like, what were those reasons? Or what's your reason today? I said, honestly, my reason is I don't want to pay it because I haven't spent any time in the hotel over the last 2 days that I've stayed here other than when I was sleeping. All right? So...
And have hookers over.
And dropping a deuce.
They removed one of them.
Yeah.
But I was just honest because I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to pay your fee because I haven't stayed in your freaking hotel other than to sleep here.
Well, the best is their convenient fee, too, for the Wi-Fi, which is like 0.2 megs up and like 0.1 down. It's always terrible.
Terrible.
Well, that all goes back to the camera. That you always get free upgrades on your phone and on your computers and all that stuff. I feel like that adds value to the product when you get upgrades like that.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to say is you said that it goes more than $29.59.
Yes.
We need to understand the technology that, or the law that says now they can do that versus they couldn't. What did they change that allows them to do that? Because if they can do that in their mirrorless camera, why can't any other company do it in their mirrorless cameras? Or does a DSLR, when you flip the mirror up, become a mirrorless camera, which then allows you to make unlimited recording?
That's a good question.
With that said, it still doesn't mean that you don't need an Atomos, but it makes it a little harder for them.
Yes.
But you will get a better quality video. That's still where they're going to win.
Exactly.
Because you have the monitor and the better quality video.
Yep.
That's just being straight up honest.
Yep.
DxOMark has rated their the A7R2 sensor as the best sensor they've ever tested.
Best sensor ever.
Sony's new mirrorless flagship received a score of 98, which beat out the D810 that had the highest score previously of 97. They say the backside illuminated sensor increases low light performance, both color sensitivity and dynamic range, and gives the camera the most impressive sensor performance that we've seen to date.
You'll see that sensor coming to a Nikon soon.
Now, breaking down the score, the color depth is now rated at 26 bits. It has nearly 14 stops of dynamic range at 13.9 stops. And for their low light test, it scored a 3,434 rating, which is quite high.
Oh, that's quite high, you know, because if you don't have a 3,000 plus rating, you know you're in trouble.
Now, obviously, this isn't like a real world test of this
no,
camera.
It's not. It's
not
a
at all.
bullshit
It's just testing the
test.
sensor, but it's no ergonomics of using the camera or the speed of the camera or anything like that.
Right.
Clearly,
it's just the sensor. But it's the sensor for oh.
Yep. Exactly.
You know my stance on DxO.
Oh, yeah.
And guess who else knows my stance on DxO?
DeMarcus.
DxO.
What's your stance on DMX?
Well, what's my name?
What?
Rough Riders.
Wait, can we sing that? Can I sing that song?
Stop.
What my I can only say one word in that song. My.
No, absolutely not.
That's the only
Steven
word.
already has enough to edit.
I would never ever go there. DxO, I have a friend at DxO named DeMarcus. This guy,
Who should be a model.
this guy is the most gorgeous looking man I have ever seen.
What did we call him? Like
Chocolate Thunder. All right, because he is smooth. He lives in Paris.
But
he's an American.
Yeah.
He's American in Paris.
Well,
Yes.
DxO is in Paris. They're a Parisian company, French. And so I absolutely dislike DxO for the BS of just I don't care.
we love DeMarcus.
I love DeMarcus. I don't care what your sensor says. You know, I don't care what your sensors do. I don't care. But DeMarcus emailed me because that DxO1 is coming, is just been released.
We do want to play with that.
And I've told him that I've wanted to, and he's going to get me one
You
to
want to play with him or the camera?
I don't want to play with
Maybe
I mean, you know what? If DeMarcus was there, it was late at night, I was a little drunk. I don't know.
A couple old fashions.
Couple of old fashions, I'd be like, hey, go easy.
Oh, God.
Speak to me in French.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is your name?
Be gentle in French.
I'm not gonna give Steven anything more to edit, or I would have said something else.
Adobe is working on new technology that will automatically remove distracting elements from a photograph. The tech is called distraction prediction and is being worked on by Adobe and Princeton.
It's called DP.
It's called DP.
Huh.
DP for short.
Wow.
It's being worked on by Adobe and Princeton computer vision scientists.
I love Princeton.
They say distracting elements.
It's two
are,
people doing the DP. Is
They
that what
say-
you're saying?
Wait,
So-
that reminds me of your role here at Frono's Photo, DVDA.
Oh yes.
When we went to NAB, Todd's pass said DVDA.
But they
what
didn't print it though.
They didn't.
Oh, I thought they
No,
did.
I thought they didn't.
Digital video, digital audio.
No, they printed mine, but they wouldldn't print your
you were
abbreviated.
Hova.
Yeah,
I was
they
Hova.
printed his, but they
But they
didn't
just
print
put
mine.
Todd
I think
Wolf.
I think they were hip to you.
I think they knew it.
Yeah.
So let's see. They say distracting elements are the regions of an image that draw attention away from the main subjects and reduce the overall image quality. Thanks. Here's how it works. The scientists first gathered together thousands of photos and asked people to manually mark distracting regions in them. They specifically said, please mark the areas you might point out to a professional photographer editor to
My
remove
face.
or tone down to improve the image.
Can you take these chins out right here? Every time I live, I got my chins right here.
So
Extra chins.
that set of marked images was then used to train a computer to recognize areas of photos people might want to remove and random photos presented to it. Once the computer began to automatically identify distractions in pictures, the next step was simply to use the content-aware fill software in Photoshop and remove the distraction.
So are you done?
Another thing real quick. Here's some things they noted about it. We have a specific car detector in the code because people often want to eliminate cars that wander into the frame, which I thought was interesting. They said they have a face detector, so if the face is large and in the center of the photo, we probably don't want to remove it, but if it's coming in from the side, it might be a photo bomb. So our software knows to remove it.
All right, so awesome that the nerds like playing with technology at Princeton and coming up with these things, because maybe something that they create out of it will actually do something.
And that's exactly what they said.
And that's the point. See, a lot of times people get very upset when they hear like MIT and all of these and Princeton and all this stuff is being developed, that they're like, that has no place in the world. It's like, well, the technology that they're creating, they are trying to solve a task. And from the stuff that they create, they can then take other things come from it. It's just like, look at NASA through the 50s, 60s, and 70s, having to come up with all these different technologies that have turned into Velcro and all this other stuff. Tang.
Can I take my ex-boyfriend out of all my pictures from Taco Bell because I hate him? He's such a whore.
But yeah, they said pretty much exactly that. They say that eventually this tech could be a quick and easy way to casual photographers to give their snapshots better compositions.
No, it's not. How about this?
That's what they said.
Take a good picture and you don't have to worry about it.
I like the I don't even know if this is possible, but I like the idea of possibly with video stuff. Like, you ever get a good shot of something, and then you all of a sudden have like a bogey in the background.
Yep.
Some lady walk in and be like, oh, sorry. Like, to be able to pull
like a
stuff
shooting
out
yesterday.
of that. I had that on a huge shoot one time. The most amazing, perfect shot, timed perfectly, everything happening. All of a sudden, some guy looks around the corner just to see what's going on, and it ruined the shot.
It kills it.
You know, I mean, you can kind of take it out, but it was a movie. Anyway, that technology would be cool to be able to pull things out like that.
Now, they do have some sample before and after photos, too, using the algorithm. It looks like it works pretty well. You can find the link. It's over on the website, which is
FronosPhoto.com/RAWtalk-149.
A couple more news stories. A man named Matt Chalker made a custom...
Matt Chalker.
Remember
him?
You drank with him in college?
We were drinking with him at Egg the other night.
So he made a custom engagement ring box for his photographer girlfriend, which mimics a camera lens.
So he's not a photographer?
I don't think he is a photographer, no.
That's so sweet.
The box is in the shape of a lens, being a circle, and has an actual working circular aperture built inside, which when twisted, opens up to reveal the ring. He says it took him about 50...
Becca, will you marry me? And you have to...
Why are you giving me a thermos?
I need a Taco Bell gift card.
If you're going to marry me, you should have put it inside of a Taco Bell Happy Meal, not inside of a thermos. What do I look like? I want coffee? I want a Baja Blast.
Becky, shut up for a second.
No.
Because
you just can't make a commitment.
I have it right here in a burrito.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. I was really hungry.
You just ate the ring, Becky.
It's all right. It'll come back out in about 30 minutes.
About 2 minutes.
But less than that at Taco Bell.
Just put your finger there and wait for it.
All right, so he says it took him about 50 to 60 hours to make this thing.
That's dedication to the woman you love.
He used wood, brass, bronze, and Nerf darts to create it. So he used the Nerf darts.
Wait, why the Nerf darts?
He used the Nerf darts at the bottom, and they're just like the cushiony rubber part, and he used it to pretty much keep the ring in place. So it's just the padding for the ring.
That's
it actually
amazing.
Looks
that's
really,
brilliant. Yeah.
This guy's pretty good.
So let's see. His original plans
him.
for the box were based on a tutorial on creating an actual real-life 12-leaf mechanical iris, too. Very creative, very cool. There's a video of him actually opening the box. You can see it on the website.
What'd she say?
I'm assuming she said yes, but it didn't say
no.
if she did or didn't.
Why would you waste so much time on something so stupid? You should have fixed my muffler.
But really cool. It's really cool. And the actual aperture blades are like bronze. And yeah,
it's very nice.
Really well
very
made.
thoughtful. I hope one day to feel the same way for a woman, that I actually give enough shits to take the time to come up with something that's not self-serving.
I'm going to post the ring on Tinder and see if anybody accepts.
A new parody video on how to clean expensive camera gear is now online. The video shows an insane man cleaning a Red Epic Dragon 6K camera, which is pretty much new, Canon 1DX, and a couple Canon L lenses. And by cleaning, I mean he's pouring water directly into the Red sensor, throwing the 1DX in a pool to soak in, dousing the L lens elements with water, and even rubbing sand all over the Red, especially in its exhaust vents. He finishes by putting soap in the Red sensor and then putting it in a toilet and flushing it. It's a
what
parody
was this
video.
for? Just to put it on YouTube?
Now, I assume he lost all his camera gear in like a water incident or something. And this is just, he was like, oh, it's already broke, make a video out of it.
Right.
Or they're just really well done replicas. I don't know, but clearly it was a joke, some kind of parody. but
that pains me.
6K Dragon, man, those things are expensive.
Oh, you're talking about 15, 20 just for the body.
Oh yeah, but the video is on the website. You guys can check it out. Really funny to watch. A photographer named Jamie Brightmore created something.
Oh, Jamie. What's his name? I had calculus with him.
But he created something new that he's calling a sat lapse, a bird's eye aerial time lapse from a drone. He used a DJI Phantom 2, a GoPro Hero 4, and an H3 3D gimbal to pull it off. Now, each image is captured with the drone hovering in one spot for several minutes, making the time-lapse static without any movement, like, say, a hyperlapse or something like that. It's also a true time-lapse. He took individual still frames rather than just straight video. And it's so stable that he had to use some kind of, like, stabilization in post, I assume, because it's perfectly stable. The drones aren't that great. Especially
the new one is... It's good,
but I don't think it can be that good. Like, I think he hovered for at least 10 minutes, kind of thing, and it's perfectly.
He can't hover for more than 20.
So it's a drone time lapse.
It's a drone time lapse, straight down. Almost looks like it's as if like Google Maps did a time lapse or something.
That sounds cool.
In like the hybrid view. That's what it looks like. Really cool stuff, though.
Sounds cool.
What did he capture?
He just captured a bunch of different, like, creative-looking roads and bridges and stuff like that. It was interesting compositions too. The way he recorded it and filmed it.
Did you record any time lapses of
pictures,
pools, backyard pools?
No pools this time.
We're not going there.
But yeah, he even put a whole tutorial on like how to do it yourself if you want to. Now onto
do you
do it yourself?
Do you do it yourself?
Now onto some bizarre news related to drones. A drone pilot named Kevin Miller. You drank with him, right, in college? I think.
No, he stole my girlfriend.
He slept with his girlfriend. Shit, I was just gonna say it.
Killed it.
He flew his drone over a 200-foot wind turbine where he was surprised to find a man sunbathing topless on top of this 200-foot turbine. The dude's just like
Todd,
chilling
what
too.
were you doing up there?
What? I was trying to get my bronze on.
He's just chilling there too.
Get my bronze
like
on.
He's on the beach, just hanging out.
Can't I get privacy anywhere, man? I was trying to look good.
And the guy who flew the drone says that after he landed the drone, the man just like leaned over the top and just gave him a wave, friendly little wave. He's like, "Oh, thanks for catching me."
Hey, how'd I look?
At least he wasn't rubbing one out.
You got the video though, and the guy's just like sunbathing, and then he sees the drone, and he's so.
Thankfully, he didn't fall off of the freaking turbine.
He's literally on the edge.
That would have been amazing.
Crazy.
The drone just followed him down.
First person, I got you, and crash.
Oh God. A couple more stories.
Really?
2 more, yeah. Holga has announced a new Kickstarter. Well, if you guys would stop interrupting, they announced a new Kickstarter for a new lo-fi toy camera that's digital. The company says you'll be snapping beautiful images in a matter of seconds.
What, does it have light leaks?
Images. I'm sure it does.
Does it have a built-in phone? Because I like my cameras like that.
There's literally no controls on this camera. You can give it to like a toddler and tell them to take pictures. They only have an aspect ratio option from like a 1:1 square format to the standard 4:3 option, and so no manual settings. But there are 4 different color cameras: black, white, pink, and mixed.
Oh,
and
good.
And a set of accessories you can use with it, including lenses, which go wide, fisheye, telephoto, and external flashes. Now, spec-wise, it has a 1/3 0.2-inch 8-megapixel CMOS sensor, built-in viewfinder, aperture slide from f2.8 to 8, a minimum focus distance of about 5 feet, which is terrible, bulb or 1/60th of a second shutter speeds, and it has SD card storage.
That's, thinking about it, it's kind of interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked that you said that.
Yeah, because I think it's a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's kind of stupid. But I like the challenge of knowing that I can only change the aperture, and it's locked in at 1/60th of a second, and I have to try to figure out how to get good pictures. Like, everything I look at is how can it challenge myself to get good photos.
It is very challenging, for sure, to use this camera.
Though I think the Holga and light leaks and people that go out there.
I mean, again, it's a toy camera.
Yeah.
It's not something you would shoot a wedding with unless you're Todd.
Well,
but the Kickstarter campaign has already surpassed its goal of $37,000. They're up to like $150K or something at this point. They still have about a month to go or so. And to get one yourself, you'll have to toss up $80. So it's not even that cheap. And you can see their Kickstarter video for a preview of the camera and everything, again, over on the website. And last news story.
Thank God.
Finally.
Jesus.
I know. God. Peak Design has announced a new product called Capture Lens, which lets you easily swap out lenses quickly. The device comes in the form of a double-sided lens mount that will let you quickly remove a lens from your camera body with one hand, they say, and attach it to the Capture Lens and grab the other lens quickly. Now, simply attach your lens to the Capture Lens system and then detach them when needed. The mount integrates with their Capture Clip system as well, so you can have it ready to go right on you, and it rotates 360 degrees so you can grab the second lens off it very easily, again, with one hand.
So you're walking around, in essence, with one lens hanging from you, looking awfully awkward.
Exactly.
Because they have you using the 24-70 2.8 in their video, hanging there. I don't want the lens hanging from my breast. And what if you're a woman?
But if you're someone that uses this Capture Clip system, you're already used to something hanging from your chest.
Well, it was one of the reasons I absolutely didn't like the Capture from day one.
It's not for everyone, but it...
I talked to Peter. I sent him another message. Because he knows... I look at it as it's not a professional solution. I know a lot of professionals may use the clip, but when you're hanging something from your bag and say I have a D4S, even a D810 with a 24-70 on it, I don't want it hanging right here, flopping off my titty.
I think this is more of like a mirrorless option for a very lighter compact camera, in my opinion.
In theory, it works, what they're talking about, but...
Street photography, whatever.
I don't want it.
But it's compatible with a ton of lenses as well, from Canon to Nikon to Sony. And the lens kit will sell for about $40. And to get a better understanding of it, you guys can watch like the preview video again over on the website. It's interesting.
More power to Peak. Just keeps coming out with more stuff
constantly. But that's it.
I looked at that plate mount thing from last week.
The quick release 1.
It seems It seems
but
like
you understand
more
it now,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got the same plate on every one of your mount, it's the same exact thing. Like it's just.
But you can quickly remove it. You're not taking still your plate off or anything. You're keeping the plate on the tripod. It's not bad, but for the price it was, I wouldn't pay for it personally.
Sorry.
So we got to do photo news music ending.
Roll out. Yep.
What should we do? It the guy sunbathing on top of the thing.
Yeah.
Let's do sunbathing on top of a wind turbine.
Wait,
music.
someone should be the drone pilot, and someone like you should be the guy sunbathing or something like that.
All right. Photo news ending music brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro and all right, and that's photo news for this week. So we're switching it up. Gear of the Week's coming up right now.
Okay.
I want to do Gear of the Week now, then we get to the flying solo because the Gear of the Week's important to talk about. I'm going to get it right now.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. Oh, no. What's in there?
Not what you think, Todd.
Wait a second. You've been sending us pictures of.
Did you put that in there while I wasn't looking? I hope
bad, guys.
All right, so this is Gear of the Week. This is the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter f5 to 6.3 contemporary lens. Now, this is a mega ultra zoom lens.
I think it's a beast.
There's two versions. And you guys, a lot of you, if you watch the Real World Review that we will be putting out at some point, you'll hear some of this stuff again. But this is the contemporary version. There's two versions. This is for $1,000, the contemporary, $2,000 for the sport. This is about 4 pounds, and the sport version is 6 pounds. That one has 24 elements, where this one only has 20 elements, but it's also lighter. It has optical stabilization, their OS. And we took it out to Atlantic City.
We did.
To shoot the air show. You can pop up the one picture on the screen of the F-22 Raptor.
Worst picture ever.
So you know my feelings on super duper mega zooms.
Yep. Never
been a big fan of super duper mega zooms, but I have to say over the past couple of years with Tamron and Sigma, and now Canon has a 100 to 400, but that's kind of not really, it's mega, but it's not as mega as going to 600.
Yep.
I mean, look at this.
Or 9 whatever on a crop sensor. That thing extends fully.
Makes me feel like less of a man.
So I took it out. We took it to Atlantic City to shoot the air show, the Thunder Down Under, or Thunder Over the Boardwalk, as they call it. Took 2 bodies, so we would do this right. We did the crop sensor 7D Mark II, and we did a full frame 5D Mark III. And on this body, it becomes a 240 millimeter to 960 millimeter equivalent.
It's crazy.
So I'll just say that I just looked at the pictures last night and this morning. because we couldn't look at them out at the thing. Handling wise, perfectly fine. Focus wise, we had the worst day. We got boned on the day. Well,
literally
at least it wasn't
the worst
raining,
day ever to shoot outside.
but it was as hazy as haze could be, which isn't great when you're trying to shoot things in the sky.
And it was midday.
Right, midday, tough lighting. Last year when we shot, we had blue sky. We had all blue sky and almost no clouds.
You're right.
But it was still a lot better
Still blue.
than haze because the haze was horrible. But I will say that on both cameras, it acquired focus very well, and it tracked, because tracking is so important. We're shooting things flying from 300 to 600 miles an hour. And it was able to track this at 10 frames a second, and they all look to be in focus.
Wow.
I have to pixel peep a little more, but the moral of the story is if you need a mega zoom, and you're not going to get 600 millimeters out of anything unless you spend 12 grand.
Yep.
So there's always a trade-off. You could get a 300 and crop a ton and lose quality. You could probably get less quality out at 600, but you're not cropping. I'm pretty happy with the results I got.
Nice.
Even on a bad day. There's some photos that I shot at 600 millimeters on this cropped, which means it's 960 millimeters, filled the frame edge to edge, not cropping the image at all. And it looks, honestly, if you're even, would I use it as a professional? That's the question, right? For me, would I use this as a professional? I would like to say I would rather have the Sport, but then does the Sport become too heavy at 6 pounds where this is more versatile at 4 pounds? And can I get shots with this that I wouldn't have been able to get the other way because I didn't have the reach? So there's always that trade-off. Can I live with the quality? If I got the picture that nobody else got, then yeah. The quality, I think, is pretty good. So I'll have raw files. I'll have all of that stuff up in the real-world review. But this is a massive lens. And handling-wise, I wish...
Does it feel
right
like
now it's locked.
Does it feel like a 70 to 200?
No, a 70 to 200 I can sit there and do this with
So
the
you have
thumb,
to twist
but
multiple times.
You literally have to twist. Look,
to go
that's
to
one
600.
twist. It's basically 1.5 twists.
Wow.
Or less when you go three half twists when you go back, or more than 3 half twists, because it's
just a mega zoom.
You have to really go a long way to do it.
Wow.
What's
So-
the difference between? Did you say what's the difference between that and the Sport?
Yeah.
Well,
what
yeah,
is it?
the Sport's $2,000. Other than price,
Well, yeah.
it has 24 elements where this has 20, so it has more elements. It probably will focus quicker and better.
Okay.
I wonder if their OS is a little different in the Sport.
Yeah,
too.
I wonder. I was on the Sport OS 2 on this, and in the Canon, I was on focus mode number 6.
Yes.
For erratically moving subjects. But even on the other modes, I can't believe I acquired focus the way I did. It didn't hunt as much as my 300 last year, even though I used the old 300. I was able. Sometimes I had to go wider to find the plane to acquire it, and then zoom in while focusing at the same time. I am pretty happy with the results.
And I think it comes down to overall convenience with that lens. Again, from 150 to 600, it's extreme focal lengths. But if you're trying to go zoomed in, you're good from 150 to 600, especially on a crop sensor. And for $1,000,
For $1,000, that was
not
that was
paying
the
over
thing.
10 grand.
Well, that was the thing. Is for $1,000. Now,
crazy.
Let me reiterate: this is not a lens that you use indoor ever.
Because it's 5 to 6.3.
It's a 6.3.
And
I can't use it out my window to get my neighbors.
Yeah, you can. But 900. I shot the moon.
oh
Dude,
yeah,
I saw
yeah,
that. That was amazing.
So at 9 or 600 on a crop sensor, being what, 960? You
The
said.
equivalent of. That's
The
what we're
equivalent of,
saying.
correct.
It's the equivalent of. Don't say that it's a 960. Not saying you. That don't believe it's the equivalent of 960 millimeters. So in essence, it's like taking it full frame on a 600 and then cropping it another 1.6 times.
So when
But
you're
still getting better quality.
When you're shooting fully extended on that crop sensor,
Yeah.
was it like a mile away? How far away was the plane? If
Well,
you
I
had to
don't know.
roughly guess.
I can't tell you. I can't judge that stuff.
I just wonder how far
I
away
could
it
ask
was.
Matt Chow because he'll know better. But the guy next to me was shooting with a 600 f4.
That thing was huge.
all day,
Huge.
and that means
Canon L.
and he had a 70 Mark II, which means every shot he was taking was 960 millimeters. But guess what? He couldn't do. He couldn't zoom or pull back.
Yep.
So there's the trade-off.
Very limited.
I got things.
Yeah.
I shot better than last year because I wasn't shooting a 300 and waiting for them to come into my shooting zone. I was going to the plane. I was going out to them to the shooting zone to get it. But the thing you have to be careful out is on a hazy day, 960 millimeters, it's going to be harder to get a clear image at such a distance because of the haze. Because you're shooting through so much atmosphere. Atmosphere, one of my favorite Discovery Channel commercials ever.
I find it very interesting as to what a lens like that could do for video. Like when you just want to get the shot. Like I don't care. I honestly don't care sometimes. Like what kind of lens, what. If I can get the shot I want, if I want to get a full frame shot of the moon and I don't want to pay for it from like or pull it from Video Blocks, I want my own unique shot of the moon.
I think it would look awesome.
I think so too, because I tried to do it one time. We couldn't get it with the 70-200. We couldn't get it with this, with that.
This would do it on the crop sensor camera. You just need to have the stabilization be pretty good because it actually, you know what? I was looking through the viewfinder up on my roof and it wasn't shaking. You just had to make sure to lock it all in. Now, we could try shooting video.
I'd love to see
sandbag
video.
Down. You should be
Let me run down the street and see if you can catch me good.
Well, it's not going to track you. And you're not going to be able to manually focus it terribly too well. The manual focus ring is like this wide.
Really?
It's really not meant for manually focus. And let me just say how I was doing my autofocus. I set the cameras to the wide point AF, meaning I wasn't selecting the point. The camera was automatically selecting as I was holding it down to track it.
Which it did well?
Yeah, it did well. It did well with my D4S last year, and it did well in the 7D Mark II because where it's hitting focus, it's not like I'm just concentrating on hitting the eye. I need it to track a plane moving at 300 to 600 freaking miles an hour, and it was going to do a better. I can't move my thumb quick enough to track it.
No way.
That's where you use the technology of that for the full auto finding it in continuous. Cool. It did a great job.
Imagine stealing a shot with that lens. Like you can't get in somewhere, or you want to be conspicuous,
right?
And you're up the block. You put a lav on somebody, and you steal a shot of an actor, like in a place that you can't get a camera. Amazing.
Very true.
We'll see what that quality looks like. I don't know. All right, we got to move on. That's Gear of the Week. That's the Sigma contemporary version. And thank you to Sigma. They sent it out. I called them the day before, and they got it next day to me, thankfully.
That's great.
So now it's time to get to flying solo. I still like doing flying solo. I like the questions that come in. Well, generally. Last week I wasn't. The 200. There were good ones that we ended up picking for the show. Flying solo time, guys.
I just love when you read like this. It's the best.
I'm blind, yo. Patrick Pylon. I know it's not Pylon. It's P-I-L-O-N. I'm P-O-L-I-N. So it's probably Pylon.
So it's like the opposite.
Pylon.
It's Pylon.
It's Pylon.
It's probably Pylon.
It's literally like the opposite.
I took Russian with him in college.
Would you consider that the work that one has to put into making informative videos and blog posts or behind the scenes, as a lot of known photographers do, worth the time in order to gain exposure? Do you think anyone could build a following by getting into detailed explanations of one's process and sharing that info online? You know what? As I read this question for the third time, I realize that he's talking about me, basically. What you are saying here is, can anybody do what I've done? And the answer is yes. You can make behind-the-scenes video. Shut up, Joe.
God damn it, Joe.
God bless
you. You ruined the whole thing.
Don't start over.
Don't you start over the whole show.
Don't you know how to sneeze like a girl?
Reset.
Why do girls...
That's what my daughter does. And like, you're going to blow your face out.
Comes out the ears.
I don't understand why girls reserve their...
I don't get it. I love sneezing. That's the best.
I sneeze all over everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I go to Wendy's. I sneeze. I go to Taco Bell.
Coming out my mouth.
Do you know, when I was in... I used to say, shit in school all the time. And they'd be like, what'd you say? I'm like, I don't know. I'd sneezed. I don't know what you're talking about. I was that dick in elementary school.
Nice.
Surprise.
So... Patrick, my answer to this is yes. Would you consider that work anyone could put in the time to make this informative? Anybody can do this. I started with 0. Anybody can do it. Make it happen.
Just do it.
Luis Asienio. Hi, Jared. I'm a music and concert photographer. I just launched a bi-weekly show with interviews to bands and other music personalities from my local scene.
Cool.
My question is related to when should I publish my content? I mean, ... Usually my photos or reviews from the shows, I publish them right away to take advantage of the moment. Good. But for example, last night, in addition to shooting the show, I got an interview of a fairly big international act, and I'm not sure if I should publish the photos together with the video interview right away, or should I just publish the photos and then save the interview for maybe a month and then put it out to bring people back. I already have the other interviews that I could put out next week in order to keep my bi-weekly commitments to blah, blah, blah. Should I show? But I don't want to also miss an opportunity on taking advantage of the recent concert. Hopefully you read my question. Thanks for all these. That's a long one. Thank you for all these years of great content, and send my greetings to T and S. Is that like Terrence and Phillip?
Terror Squad.
Terror
Represent
Squad.
Fat Joe. Lean back. Lean back.
All right.
Lean back.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, that's all right.
Go ahead, brush your shoulder off. Oh wait, wrong guy. So this is one of those things we face all the time. If you have content that is pertinent and it's not time sensitive, but it just happened and it's big, then edit it and put it out. Don't wait a month until everybody already forgot about it. Capture that information. Capture the momentum right now. Or you could then put it out into the next bi-weekly release and push the next one back even further. Or you just put the information out.
Yeah, because that one seems just to be pretty time sensitive because it's a concert and a band and like, oh, they came to town 2 months ago and you're just putting it out now.
A certain thing is time sensitive and you skip your whole schedule to get something else out.
We've switched shows around and interviews around.
I also think bi-weekly isn't enough. But oh wait, bi-weekly, that's twice a week. Or every other week. That's my answer is don't do bi-weekly. Ryan O'Hara, hey Jared, I know you hate on watermarking images, especially with your last 30 for 30, which I did hate on watermarks on your own website. But what about images you give to clients for sole use of putting on Facebook? I'm not a fan of watermarks either, but it seems that organic reach and advertising could be huge with your website, URL, in the image. I feel I'm changing my stance on this due to the fact that not every post of your photo by a client may come with a tag or link back to you for credit. When I was doing wedding photography early on, I would deliver them full res images without watermarks and low res images with watermarks so that when they shared them online, people always saw my watermark. I still will hold true that the watermark is really freaking annoying to have on the image. I think you need to educate the customer, the consumer here, that it's very important for you to tag me in your Facebook post. I think it's more important that you put the images out there because if the people like your work, they're going to ask their friend who took these photos. I want to get in touch with them. And that's better than them just going to your website and being like, oh, okay. So it means a lot more when they reach out to the friend who's getting married or whatever it was and they say, oh, how was it working with this guy? Did you like his photos? Yeah, I loved his photos. Can you put me in touch?
Yeah, his name was Todd Wolf. He killed.
Oh, yeah.
He destroyed.
And by destroyed, he took 1,000 photos and only 50 turned out sort of okay until we actually see
bangers.
them.
50 bangers.
Yeah, sure. So it's a tough decision, but I think you need to tell them, hey, I'm delivering you these images clean, no watermark. Please tag me or link to my website. Do something. You have to ask them to do that. And if they don't do that, whatever, they don't do it. It just is what it is.
Now, what about, like, for example, that picture you took that they used for, like, the Free the Nipple campaign? Do you wish that you watermarked something like that because it almost went, like, not viral, but it did go around the web, posted on several different websites? You know, and it's...
Honestly?
I feel like it's different with you running a brand.
I think they may not have used the image if it had a watermark.
You think so?
I think there's a lot of instances where if it has a watermark, they ask you to remove it when they run it publicly.
Yep.
And so what you run into is now they're not even going to use your image, so your watermark doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it. I've run into that into the past where like we don't want your watermark. So now it means they have to contact you and they have to be like, what do they need it for? And it creates issues.
Because I think a couple of the blogs, didn't they not credit you? And I was just wondering how you felt personally if you think you should have put...
Well, first off, I have nothing to do with the Free the Nipple campaign.
I know you
That
don't.
had nothing to do with that damn photo being taken.
I know.
But whatever, I'll take it because a lot of people are like, we saw you on the Free the Nipple campaign at 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this video.
That's funny.
I was like, I'll take it. I'm not upset at it because... if my watermark was in the bottom of it, guess what it was? A white background. Guess what they could have done with one square in Photoshop?
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
You can take out any watermark. Not hard.
Roy Bo Della, D-E-L-E-H. Hey, Jared, I'd like to...
Come again?
I would like to know if sharing my work on Instagram is good or is it better to use more professional websites like Flickr or 500 Pics?
You should totally use Instagram. Hashtag at Taco Bell Becky for all the hottest Instagram photography in the world. Thank you.
I already gathered 100 followers on Instagram, and that's what's pulling me back from sharing my stuff on those sites.
That's funny, because I have 100 new followers as well.
I don't want to start all over again. Okay. I'm going to say this in the least pretentious way. And it may sound like
even possible?
The most pretentious, but 100 followers... There's no such... You're not starting over because you have 100 followers. Instagram is a tremendous place to share your work. They have hundreds of millions of people using it. They may even have more than Flickr. 500 pics, yes, your photos look great on it, but it's a smaller community. Do it on all of them. There is nothing wrong. Even if you didn't do Flickr and you just did 500 pics, then do it on 500 pics. Put up your best work there and put up work on Instagram.
Yeah.
And growing a following. Yes, it's a great place to grow a following if you're tagging things right, if you're doing things that are pertinent. I don't know. I think I have, what, 39,000, almost 40,000?
Something like that.
I just tag stuff. And what I think I've finally discovered, not discovered, kind of knew this all along, but the best stuff that does well on Instagram are good photos. It's funny how that happens. When you put up quality photos, they tend to get a lot of likes and feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you just put up the snapshot of you eating a taco at Taco Bell, it may...
You know what? I've had enough of you guys critiquing my photographs. I am sick and tired of it. I'm tired of you guys. I'm not going to do Steven's website now. Screw you.
So if you want to follow a Twitter handle, at Taco Bell Becky is tweeting from time to time. That's Todd's. He's gained over 100. He's gained more subscribers than you have on Instagram since the last RAWtalk that we did.
Well, I think it's a hashtag game, isn't that? I mean, if you hashtag photos, photography, what I don't know, whatever's pertinent to what you're shooting.
Yes,
that's how you find new followers.
Just don't over hashtag. Well, yeah, hashtags. Riding the hashtag wave is important.
Yeah.
If something is big into the world, that's what Gary Vee talked about with Twitter. He would ride the hashtag on Twitter. Whatever was trending, he would tweet about it and talk about it. And then going back even further to the old days of YouTube, where you could do response videos.
Can't believe they don't do that anymore.
Well, because nobody was doing it. Phil DeFranco, who has over 2 million subscribers on his one channel, really good at what he does, used to do feedback, used to do those videos to the popular videos that were getting big on YouTube, so that people would see his and hear his commentary, probably hate on what he said, but then he would pick up enough people that liked what he said, which helped him grow his freaking brand. He used the system. So I wouldn't go, you know, I'm not making fun of you for having 100 subscribers, but you're not, just put out good work and you will find more. But why do you want more? Like, it's like, why do you want more? It's just put out good work. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or I can do your social media.
Daquan Anderson. Hey, at Taco Bell Becky, Fro, and Steven.
Oh my God, hello.
Fro, I need some help on deciding what lens to buy. It's kind of a gear question, but the only reason I picked it is because it said hello at Taco Bell Becky. I know good glass is key, but what if budget comes into play? Should I get a Sigma 70-200 2.8 EX DG HSM2 macro zoom or the Nikon 70-300, or should I wait? Look, if those are the two options that you have that you can afford, then you absolutely go with the Sigma all day long over the 70-300 the 4 to 5.6. Anastasia K. Poulos. Hey, Jared, Steven, and Todd. Thanks for answering my question last week. This was, I believe, the person that would take 8 weeks to deliver the dancing photos.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned shooting RAW plus JPEG to get the photos out same day to the competition. Would you suggest any post-processing for the JPEG in camera or out, or just putting them up as is? Thanks for your advice.
If you do it right.
Well, your JPEG in camera, you should have your picture style set
and ready to
something. And set so that you can just put the images out. These people don't care in the end. They want to see their photos right away. When somebody places an order, then you go back to the RAW file and you edit it, and then you make a print from it. That's what you do.
I mean, if you're doing heavy photoshopping, I could see why, obviously, you want to go back and tweak the RAW images, but the person's not going to be able to tell with the JPEG, I feel like, in that situation.
Charlie Havda Mo. Hi, Todd, Steven, and Fro.
First.
Don't like that order.
Killed it.
I recently got a request from a nonprofit organization working with development aid to use one of my photos, a portrait of one of their ambassadors. They have this in a parentheses, and then they have quotes inside the parentheses of the word ambassadors. Is that proper? I don't know.
No idea.
In their email, they've explained a little bit about who they are and what they do, and ended with an inquiry of how much they would pay to license the photo for a 100,000 to 150,000 print run. I'm assuming he means going out in the email. Or she. Jarle? Jarle? Do we know what that is?
Can
I get the word of origin, please?
J-A-R what?
L-E.
The name I'm trying to say, is that a guy or a girl? Like, I don't know. Charlie Havda.
It's just Charlie.
Mo.
It's like
They.
it's like Madonna. It's
or is it like
a
Charlie?
person.
I just went full time this summer, so I definitely need money whenever I can get it, wherever I can get it from. But I also felt somewhat uneasy taking money from a nonprofit. I eventually decided to let them have it for free. How would you have handled the situation? So this is how I handled the situation. Just because something is not, the church is nonprofit, right? Are you not going to get paid from the church who has more money than God?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What? What? That was funny. More money than God. They are like, they made up God, so they have that. Oh,
I get it.
I guess I'm upsetting that Christian beliefs. You believe in what you want to believe in. You know what really pissed me off this week?
What?
Let me
What's
take
that?
a sidestep. I
Please
opened
tell
up my
us.
mailbox, and inside my mailbox is what was that book called? The End, or How It Will End?
How It
or
Will End, I think it was called.
Somebody paid the Postal Service to deliver this Bible-ish type book into every single mailbox.
Oh, I got one
in the city.
It was a book, but it was like a hidden Bible.
Right.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
Did you really?
I
I'm
got
like,
that. Yeah.
What? They paid the Postal Service to deliver this religious doctrine to everybody's. We have about 6 of them sitting down there that all are going in the recycle bin right away.
Yeah.
They paid to put stuff in recycling.
Pretty
Basically,
much.
you did. Don't push it on me. Really, seriously, you don't have to push it on me. I don't want you to push it on me. You're not gonna convert me. Back to photo news. I mean, the question. What I'm saying is, don't feel bad because they're a nonprofit. Just because they're a nonprofit doesn't mean they're not making money. They make a lot of money. Now, I don't know about this particular one, but nonprofits, by the nature of them, they pay the people that work there. They make a lot of money, and then they donate maybe 6%. Like, you look at the Susan G. Komen breast cancer awareness thing. Can't quote me because I don't know the exact number of money that they donate, but I believe it's less than 10%. Less than 10% of the millions upon millions of dollars that they raise goes to actual research. People that run the events get paid.
Yep.
People that are in the events get paid. The CEO of the company gets paid. That's just the nature. You should ask to get paid.
Yeah.
They're getting paid. I don't care anything. Ask them what their budget is. That's the first thing you do. What is your budget? If they say we were hoping you would give it to us for free, say no. I'm sorry.
Because they definitely have a budget.
You know what? If you're a nonprofit, if you're here is some. You know what? This is good.
Oh, here it goes.
This is
Here it
good.
goes.
Pay
Yes.
attention. Get really close to
Best
the
idea
screen
ever.
or the speakers. Write me out. If they're a nonprofit, give them a bill for $5,000. Give them a bill for $5,000 and then have it cancel out to zero as that it would have been $5,000 and have them give you a $5,000 tax credit. That holy shit. Bam, 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 bam. Thank you. Where was it? But did you? I never thought of that until right now.
I've done
Genius.
it. I've done it.
You've done that?
Yep.
Oh, it's a good idea.
No, I've absolutely done it because if you don't want to hit them over the head with an exorbitant price of what your value truly is, you could discount it, and you take that as a loss to a degree, and then it's a write off. I mean, they will send you your charitable contribution.
Right. I need to do this.
I mean, keep it realistic. I mean, be realistic, but I mean, the value of your service is definitely a thing. And if you want to be good to them, then use the system for what it is.
Say it's $100. If it's $100 in cash, then I want $500 in credit.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
No,
but that's a
sure.
good idea. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. How do you deal with? Wow, I'm
is.
glad we got this good question. You're going to get a star, Mr. or Mrs. Jarlee Havda Mo.
Next week, IRS. The IRS sent me a letter today. God damn it.
Well, speaking of IRS, do you watch John Oliver?
No.
One of the best shows on TV at whatsoever. Unbelievable show.
What did he take over?
No, he didn't. He started John Oliver on HBO.
Oh.
He was on what's it's called show.
The Daily Show.
The Daily Show.
Yeah,
with
that's
Jon
correspondent.
Stewart.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
He went off onto HBO and created his own thing, which is
Okay.
once a week, where they talk about last week's news this week. It's
Yeah.
really good. But he did a thing about televangelists, the people on TV that say, "Send us your seed."
Yes.
Well, he started up his own, and people started sending money in, and it's legal, but it's such a scam. It's like a pyramid scheme. You know
Yep.
pyramid schemes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I need to keep moving. Jacob Heilsbeck, I am currently a college student in Minnesota working as a part-time photographer for a daily newspaper. When not shooting photojournalistic work, I enjoy shooting landscapes. This sounds like he's a dating profile. I enjoy shooting landscapes, photos with the intent to print
Slow walks on the beach.
And hopefully sell.
Sushi.
That's me. That being said, I have yet to sell a single print outside of family members in situations where no profit was made. Was there a point in your career where you've been focused on selling prints, and if so, how do you find success, or what do you wish you would have done differently? If neither of those questions apply to you, do you have any suggestions on how to sell prints to offset some of the cost of gear? Yeah, well, with everybody being a photographer today, it makes it awfully hard to sell certain landscape photos. It's just hard to sell those photos. It really is just hard to sell photos to people. My solution that helped me sell stuff, not that I've sold prints, is that I've built a following. If you somehow build a following, then you have people who are going to buy your product. It's kind of like when I had my website and I thought, well, my website's really good, my work is awesome, but I'm not getting jobs. What did I do to start bringing more people to my website? Was I started to make tutorial videos or just start a conversation, which brought more people to my website. It's the same thing here. You have to get people interested in what you do. It's kind of like that Lick My Balls guy. What's his name? Phil Lick?
What?
The what guy?
Peter Lick. Peter Lick.
Lick My Balls guy?
Yeah, Peter Lick, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't know Peter Lick. Remember that photo that he sold for $7 million or something?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
So he created a business.
Like
he created a following, and he sells it all day long.
yeah. Lick My Balls, guys.
Dylan Mason Connor. Hey, Todd, favorite.
Yep. Killed it.
Steven and Fro. I'm starting my very own. Screw this. Next question.
Read that question.
I'm starting my very own video blog channel on YouTube, but I have a problem. I can't seem to find or figure out content to post in them. Fro, what did you do to create great content when you first started making these videos? Look, I'm going to be harsh with you, Dylan. Dylon,
because you weren't.
If
first.
you can't
It's
think of
Dylon.
if it really is Dylon, it could be. You go to Mr. O'Shea Hennessy's office right now. Look, if you can't think of ideas and you just started, you may have a problem.
Just look at your life. What do you know about? Just make a video about
everything that you do in life is video content.
Literally anything.
Anything you do.
Just make it interesting.
But being that Todd's his favorite, what would you do?
If I could do something, if I had all the time in the world to make videos,
Which you do because your wife is the breadwinner.
I would do video games. I would
Sugar
do
mama.
video games and playthroughs. I would just play video games.
He'd
all
be
day.
like PewDiePie.
I would do that every day of the week. Every day of the week.
So my question to you guys is, would you watch a Todd playing video games on Twitch or on YouTube gaming? Or would you...
If you want to hear the comment... I've often said if people listen to what myself and a couple guys I play with say to people online, that it would be comedy gold.
Well, I think you should record that stuff.
You should.
And put it out into the world.
It's like your own podcast almost.
Remember
but
when that
gaming.
guy... You sent me that really terrible video. What was that?
It was the one guy trying to act.
It was a black guy, right?
Yeah, but he was trying to act like he was like younger or something like that.
He was like,
and then he's like, "You're like 40." He's like, "No, I'm 15 or I'm 13." Or
whatever that was funny. Would
yeah,
you
it's
guys want to watch a Todd thing like that? I'd be curious.
That would be good.
Hashtag.
It's me and like other old guys doing it.
Hold on. Hashtag yes Todd games.
Yes,
What?
Todd Games.
Or no Todd games.
Oh.
But make sure you at Frono's photo with
Here
that.
comes
Or
the
at
hate.
Taco Bell
Here
Becky.
comes the hate.
Kurt Sturgulowski.
yeah,
Hello,
Sturgulowski.
Fro, Steven, and Todd.
Yes. The right order.
So I have a business question. When it comes to tracking clients, do you think utilizing something like a Basecamp to keep up with projects and building, etc., is worth investing? How do you keep up, or do you keep up with everything? So there's Basecamp, there's Trello.
We've tried several times, but somebody doesn't want to
I
be organized.
am organized. I just don't like
in your own way.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'll give you guys information. You keep it organized, however the hell you want to keep it organized.
Organization by tweeting or texting people at 2 a.m.
One-liners that you're just like, what?
I have to decide.
No
I have
subject
a tough,
emails.
Look, I have a tough choice at 2 in the morning. Do I text or do I email? Generally, I email at 2 in the morning
with no subject, just a link.
He's the one that made me start using.
You don't know what he's talking about.
On my
it
phone.
could possibly be really something important for business, or it could be the most inappropriate thing that you want to pull up on your computer at that time.
Yep.
Now, how do I keep track of clients? I like to insert chips under their skin. So that's how I keep track of all my stuff.
That is racism, Todd.
But now, speaking of that, we've used both Basecamp and Trello. I've used Trello for radio station events too, like the iHeartRadio Music Festival. They use Trello behind the scenes to keep everything organized, going on the website and stuff like that. I personally like Trello better. Basecamp, some people like to use though.
Basecamp's more in depth.
I think it's more confusing though.
I use when I had the website redone by that company Dojo.
They use Basecamp.
They use Basecamp effectively.
Yes.
It's just
the
that
right
I've
way.
never set it up to be effective.
Yeah.
Moving on. Tay Hutzel.
Tay.
Recently, you talked about how real estate agencies are slacking on photo quality.
There you go.
Nice.
I live in a college town where there is a big housing market.
Is there a Taco Bell there?
Would like to know if starting my own real estate photography business would be ideal. What? Why is this like starting my own real estate business photography? Can you just be a photographer, go shoot pictures? It doesn't. You don't have to wrap it in. I'm starting a business. You really don't. You can work under your own name. Would be ideal rather than applying to their real estate photographer wanted ads on Craigslist. If so, how would I set rates and gain clients? You set rates however the hell you want. How do you get clients? You knock on their door and you tell them that I can shoot your freaking houses better than you can and better than that help wanted ad. And if there are help wanted ads, then contact those people and just say, look, I will do X, Y, and Z. I saw somebody leave a comment, we'll do the first house for free. No, don't do the first house for free. Do the 10th house for free. You give me 10 houses, I give you the 11th free. Boom, drops the microphone, goes home. But you have to get to people. Was that too thug?
It's too street. You're
Way too
definitely not going to
street.
be James Bond now. You're too street.
Wait, what? I didn't read that Idris whatever his name is.
Somebody said that.
Oh, yeah, they said
somebody
he's too
involved
street, right?
with James Bond said that he was too street.
Yeah.
So
to be James
I
Bond.
guess there's this thing that they're the
think he'd
current
be
James
great.
Bond. The current James Bond. What's his name?
I forget. But he's moving on.
He's moving on.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out who's the next James Bond, and they're trying to say that this guy can't be because he's black. Now, first off,
No, he's too street.
he's too straight, but he's also black, which is probably the issue.
AKA black.
Right, exactly. Who cares? The guy will make a great James Bond.
That's how my mother will describe people. Like, oh, who, Mom? Who are you talking about? The guy over there? No, who over there? No, I'm talking about the black guy. Like, it's always a secret. The fact that they're black is always a secret to my mom.
Well,
Mom, no, who are you talking about? No, the guy with the red shirt? No, the black guy. Like, what? I can't hear you. It's a secret that he's black? I think he knows. Anyway.
I think he's a great actor, though.
Yeah.
I think he could easily pull that off.
I'll take it any day of the
Yeah.
week.
I think he'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's anyway. Back to the question. I don't remember the question.
Well, you were being too street, so you can't answer the question.
Oh, right. I dropped the mic and went home because we just answered Tay Hutzel's photo question. Mark Rudick, do you feel it's worth paying for a portfolio review? If so, is there? No. Are there services? No. If so, is there a service you recommend? Look. Paying somebody for a portfolio review is like walking down to the homeless guy on the side of the street and saying, here's some money, tell me what you think of my photos. It's kind of the same thing. You know what? You're better off going to the homeless guy and giving him money and saying, can you critique my photos? He'll probably do a good job.
I think you're better off probably contacting me, and I will look at your photographs for the fee of a gordito.
Meet me at table 5 at Taco Bell.
I'll be at the Taco Bell
the table
down the
next to the
street from the
bathroom.
gas station.
So I would not pay for a portfolio review. Now I know there's places like Photo Plus Expo. You spend $100 and somebody will critique your portfolio. I know that Kelby did
Is it
it.
that expensive?
It's like $100 and they have some professional critique it. Talk about a money making racket.
Yeah.
If I did rapid fire critiques for money, I thought about it, and I also know that other people have done it, and it was like $100 a thing. Yeah, if I did 30 of those a month at $100, you know, that it would take me a couple days to do it, and I think I'm pretty sure that I could get hundreds of requests at $100 to critique people's work.
All right, everybody, hashtag pay Jared for critiques.
Okay,
Yes.
seriously.
Yes or no?
At Fro Critique, what do we do? Hashtag.
You just ripped on the whole thing. And now
Hashtag
you're
go
gonna do
go
it.
F yourself, Jared.
I want to see what people say. Would you pay? Just in all seriousness, I'm not saying I would do it. If I needed money, I would probably
But would
do
you?
it. But what would you pay for a critique? Would you pay me $100 to hear what I had to say about your work in a quick?
This is going to be a shitstorm.
In a quick 10-minute video, 10 to 12-minute critique your portfolio, people would pay.
Hell no.
But I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't go out to the pay because, look, taking somebody's advice, you could sit with two people at a portfolio review. You could pay this person, you could pay this person. This person may say that photo 3 is the greatest photo they've ever seen. The next guy can say picture 3 needs to leave. That's the worst photo you could fit in here. It's subjective.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if they're the biggest photographer in the world. It doesn't all that matters is the person that's hiring you to do the job, whether they like it or not. My answer to portfolios, have your friends critique them. Not just friends, because they may kiss your ass too much. Ask people to critique your work and be honest. That's fine. They don't have to get paid to do it. And it all comes down to what you think is the best photo is what you should put in your portfolio. Don't let somebody tell you that that photo shouldn't be there if you like it. Drops the pen, yo.
Like you said, it's subjective, all personal preference. It's art.
Mark Bardgman, met him in Chicago.
College.
Oh,
Hey,
you drank in college
I drank with him in college.
Hey,
Yeah.
Todd,
Yep.
Steven, and Jared, smiley emoticon. Did Todd hold a memorial for the pigeon, or has it been haunting him? Thank you guys for everything you do. I love my RAWtalk Mondays.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
somebody did tweet me a picture of a dead pigeon, though.
That's gruesome.
And it scarred me for life. But
Mike Thayer. When shooting a client, well, don't use a gun.
Ow.
My paper. I'm trying to make this better for Steven. When shooting a client and they are in a bad mood, how do you handle it?
It's like,
Hold on.
And this is where we cut in.
Hold on.
This is the part we cut in the.
Todd, hold on.
everything we filmed.
Hold on. Let me finish the question. Keep on shooting to hopefully to get a few good shots seems to make everybody miserable. So do you keep shooting or reschedule for another day? Steven and Todd, I'm opening this up to you for when you shoot me.
Ah, God. You could take this.
How do you handle it?
We just deal with it, to be honest.
No, what it comes down to a lot of times is talent can be very difficult if they're uncomfortable or uncomfortable, and which happens a lot with Jared because when we send him ideas and scripts, he doesn't read them until 30 seconds before we shoot.
Yep.
So that's preparation
I don't
on
like
his part and
scripts.
things like that. But if you have a strong enough idea of exactly what you need to cut what you're cutting together, anything's possible. Because if we show you the outtakes of this maniac when he is not happy, it would blow your mind at what... You know what? What we watched recently, the intro and the outro to the thing we're making, my daughter asked me, she's like, he looks really happy. He wasn't happy.
Best
I was
actor
like,
ever.
No, he wasn't. I'm magic.
Best editor
I am
ever.
magic. So it's difficult to say should you keep shooting or not. If you know exactly what you need, get it line by line if need be. But you know, I think it comes to talent being comfortable with what they're being told to do. So if you prep them in advance and they actually listen and take notice to your preparation and read the script and prepare themselves, it should be a little better.
Well, how about when we did that Amazon video recently for the mirrorless cameras?
The 5-minute video that we shot for almost 4 hours, I think. Around that?
That wasn't because I was upset. That was just because there was a lot to have done, but then I got upset somewhere in between. Because for me, I like to go straight
because
through.
I was upset, but then I got
For me,
upset.
I like to just talk out of my ass.
Basically.
But he does not like very scripted, specific
And these
things.
weren't even that scripted. It was more a general outline and
points.
points we wanted him to
It was
hit.
an outline we were following. I mean,
But what I will say is that it turned out really well. And
You're welcome.
it opens my eyes. You know, I love how you guys do the editing to make it sound like I'm natural because I like being more natural. So I'm trying to find that happy median and not getting upset
It's
like
called
yesterday.
trusting the people that are around.
Which I do, and that's why I'm good to flip out every once in a while because I like to.
Oh yeah, we all love it. We all love it.
But Todd deals with it.
We all deal with it.
And it's not really bad flip outs.
What? You are insane.
I don't know about that.
You are insane.
Roll camera 2. No, just kidding. All right, let's move on.
And cut to B-roll.
Should see all the video guide flip outs.
We just need to make a reel, man. A whole reel.
We swap.
We like 8 hours long.
We swap freakouts on Snapchat
all the time.
All the time, back and forth.
Is that what you guys do?
That back and forth. I'm like, check out this freak out. He's like, oh, check out this one.
Even better.
I'm just very emotional. All right.
It's called bipolar.
You need to call your therapist.
Speaking of therapists, I was hanging out with this therapist girl the other day.
Hello, Jared? What are you wearing?
No. She found me 3 therapists to call. Yeah, so I still haven't called them.
Oh, please. I'll call them for you. What are their... wait, can we stop the show so I can call them right now?
All right. You guys. Ricardo...
Montalban.
Is he the plane guy?
No, that was the tall guy.
No, the plane.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Oh, who's the plane? The plane.
I forget his name.
Isn't that Ricardo Montalban?
No, Ricardo Montalban is the suave gentleman.
Okay. Ricardo Jarugugui.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have a situational question for Todd.
Of course you do.
If you were a videographer for weddings, would you give your clients their final product on a very nice decorative USB flash drive in order to keep quality of the video? Or would you just put it on a DVD since it's more widely used but lower the quality of your video in order to keep the client happy? I always try to convince my clients to accept the final product on a flash drive, but how would you handle clients that insist on a DVD even though I'm shooting at 1080? Seems like DVDs lower the quality. Well, DVDs are 480.
They're
SD.
They're SD. But anyway, answer
you
that.
deliver Blu-ray. I mean, you have to think about how technologically sound your client is. I mean, they might be smart enough to... I love to send people links and say, here, just download it and have at it. But not everybody can do that. So, I mean...
If I'm delivering a product, I'm not going to... If they want a DVD, I give them a DVD, but I make them aware of the fact that DVD is not HD. It's SD. That's going to lower the quality of what we're doing. I'm going to deliver you this. I don't give a shit if it's a decorative box or USB drive. Maybe that's a new thing for wedding clients is that they get a decorative USB, but they should be backing that shit up all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So
I think the best thing would be like, look, I'll give you a DVD. I'll give you whatever format is comfortable for you.
Yeah, whatever they want.
But here is a link that I suggest you download this master full res file. Keep it on hand because at some point you're going to want to utilize this.
And guess what else I would
good way
do?
to put it.
I would upload it full res to YouTube so that they can put it there and share it with their friends.
Unlisted,
what if
I
it's
guess.
on your own YouTube wedding video channel and you get all the ad revenue by hosting it?
Well, you would turn the ads off. But
no, I'd absolutely take every ounce of dime of money from that.
all right. Neil.
I don't care if there's Doritos over your wife's face.
Neil Southwell. Hello, Jared, Steven, and the legend Todd. Cue air horn.
The legend.
I was asked to by 2 different clients to work on the same day. One being a paid photo shoot, the other in a networking event to be the official photographer on the day, not paid. Would you choose money over exposure? I think this depends. If the networking event is one of the strongest networking events you could ever go to where you're going to be put in front of the right people, then sometimes you have to forego money to be in the right place because just trading dollars, hours for dollars, people say? If all you're doing is trading your time for money, then you should be looking for a new job.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to forego the money if you feel that you can do better by doing the other thing. Drew Pion. I have a steady gig at a local theater. I still get nervous when dealing with talent, musicians, and other talent. Any advice on how you handle meeting and working with bands? The simple... What?
Reminds me of Dan.
Oh, Dan is the worst. He still does it to me on the phone.
Hey, everything okay? Everything okay? You cool? You need anything? Just let me know if you need anything. I'm sorry.
2 seconds later.
Everything okay? Everything okay?
You sure?
I'm sorry.
Here's how I was taught to handle celebrity. when I was meeting like Eric Lindros and the Flyers back when I was a kid.
People.
The guys took me to the side. I was 12 years old. He said to me, he said, look, these are just people like everybody else that so happen to have an extraordinary talent. They shit too. He didn't tell me that, but everybody shits.
I don't.
Everybody poops.
I don't.
Great book.
Even Taco Bell Becky.
I had a massive one last night. It was ridiculous. I painted the walls.
But yeah, the radio station program director that I used to work with, the same thing when I first started there. Some big name came through, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to check out the studio session that we're doing with him? And I was all like excited and jittery. And he's like, they're just people. He's like, you got to just be natural and be fine when you meet them. And I'm like freaking out. And that was when I first started.
Those people do not want to be treated necessarily like that all the time. They're like, can we just sit and talk about
And they usually want to talk about everyday, regular things.
They want to talk about dumb shit.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Kyle Stewart. Hey, Fro and the other two.
God damn it.
I live around the Philly area, and I was wondering, what are your guys' plans? I should have said if he's from Philly. What are you guys' plans for when the Pope comes to town? P.S. I know you are Jewish. What are your plans?
I'm getting the hell out of town.
Yep.
Are you getting it? Oh,
absolutely.
You're closer. No, you're not. You're getting out of town?
You can't get anywhere.
Well,
you're not gonna be able to go anywhere.
You don't live in town, so
I live in Jersey. Now my girlfriend,
he won't be able to come across like certain bridges.
Yeah,
well, they're shutting the bridge
down.
Yeah.
The Ben Franklin, I think, right?
Yeah.
So for anybody that let me preface this. For anybody that doesn't know what's happening, is the Pope is coming to Philadelphia. I brought him here because I was like, Pope, come to Philadelphia, and he's like, sure, I'll come.
Can I come to the
Help me brand my new WWJD bracelets.
I'm gonna be on. He's gonna be on RAWtalk. You know, that's why I got that religious book in the mail downstairs. So the Pope is coming to town. The city and the CI. Morgan, are you interested in this question? Because you're peeking your head around the corner.
How dare you, Morgan?
You can come sit in the chair.
Go sit down.
No, you can come sit. You can hang out.
Go ahead. You can come sit down.
Anyway,
all right, she's hiding now.
She's playing hide and go seek. Yeah. So the Secret Service is making sure that nothing goes wrong, and they're working with the city of Philadelphia and the cops and all this stuff. And what has been happening for the last 2 months is they've scared the crap out of everybody, saying that you shouldn't come to town, or if you do, you're going to be walking for 5-6 miles, even if you're old. They tried to sell Pope passes, SEPTA Pope passes, which was direct quick lines to get into Philly. They have 200,000 tickets left because nobody bought them because they got scared away knowing that they're going to have to walk 10 miles there and back to get to where they need to go. And also people were Airbnb-ing their places for $30,000 for the week or the weekend, which is insane. I didn't do it because
no way I'd do it.
I wouldn't touch I wouldn't touch it anyway. But then, as of last week, there were still vacancies for hotels in Philly dropping prices because they weren't sold out. I think what's going to happen is that people are going to show up, but not the 6 to 7 million that they expected. This happened in St. Louis when the last Pope was coming around. Not the Nazi Pope, the other one. They thought that people would come. They only had a couple 100,000 people show up.
Huh. Yeah, because every single day on the news they're like, "Don't come, everything's gonna be shut down."
It's gonna be a hot box of. There's gonna be a no driving zone, so cars can be in, but once they leave, they can't get back in. There will be no vehicles within certain areas. Restaurants won't be able to get food deliveries. I'm taking too much time here. What I am doing for when the Pope is, I'm going to stay in town and I'm going to walk down to the Parkway or as close as I can get to people to do a photo story about the people who came to town. Cool. I think it would be really stupid for me to leave town and not use this as an opportunity to be a storyteller in photographs and use their images online.
Yeah. Now, I, on the other hand, again, live in New Jersey. I will not be coming to Philadelphia. My girlfriend has the issue where she has a concert that weekend, and it's still on at Festival Pier.
She's going to have to walk over the Benjamin. Why doesn't she just walk over the bridge?
She just doesn't even want to go.
Have your girlfriend just stay with Jared.
They also don't know.
Yeah.
Have your girlfriend stay with Jared.
They don't know if it's going to be canceled or not. They still haven't announced anything. It's not even a month away.
Mark Nice, NYCZ. Have you ever considered joining a local business group to help network and better market yourself? I did. Before Frono's Photo, I was in this thing called Le Tip, a highly pretentious bunch of people.
Le Tip?
Yeah, just the tip, basically. L-E-T-I-P.
Le Tip.
It's French.
Does your friend over in France have
DeMarcus? Yeah, he does Le Tip all the time. So there's BMI, there's LaTip, there's all these other groups that you can get together where you meet up. In LaTip, you met up each week and you had breakfast, and then everybody would present for 30 seconds about what they do. And the whole point is that the accountant over there may need a photographer, or who has friends who needs a photographer. And then there's the plumber guy and the painter person. And so all of these different people come together, and basically it's meant to expand your network. I have to honestly say, Greg was the one, if anybody, Greg, who I went to college with, he was in LaTip and suggested I get into LaTip. So I did get into it. I really never did well with photo jobs, though I only got real estate photo jobs from Marty Milner, who's a really good, he uses social media very well, by the way, and he ended up buying a camera to take his own photos after I told him how to do it.
So you did get jobs out of it.
I got
then
jobs.
Lost the jobs because he just started.
That was
doing
after
them
after the fact. But I will say that the thing that led me down this path of being on the internet was I got a gig. My trainer, the guy who was training me, who was in LaTip, had a friend who was also a fitness guy who was putting on a conference. Conference in Florida, putting in a conference in Florida. And so I did it for like $1,000, and that was my first introduction into these guys are selling things to people who they met on the internet. And then they connected me with this next person who they said was really good to go to. And so I called that person and said, I want to photograph your event for nothing, just pay for my hotel. And so I learned a lot at that event. What happened is I learned the wrong stuff. It blew my head up thinking that, oh my God, I could do this. And then I realized that a lot of the stuff at this event was like BS. And then I met another guy from one of the bigger events, and that's when I met Gary Vee. And I was just seeing what these internet marketers were doing, and basically doing the opposite. Because 5.5 years ago, when I started Frono's Photo, so basically 6.5 years ago when I went to these internet marketing events, the big thing was sell, sell, sell. It was all about selling stuff to your people on the internet. And that's what it was. And I'm like, I think that's wrong. I think that if I give it away, I will do better than the people who are selling from up front because you have a bigger audience. So anyway, that's the story. I think it's a good opportunity to get involved, to meet people. Try it out at least.
How much was LaTip?
It may have cost me, I think it may have been $800 for the year.
Okay.
Screw that.
It was expensive.
It's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it was a little pricey, but the networking events, the people...
I mean, worth it for you in the end, but
yes, but you have to sometimes
struggling photographer.
You invest in yourself. I made my money back.
Yeah,
the money that I spent each year, I made that and then some by being in the group. I charged money. You will make money to be in the group. That's if you have a good group. The one group I got in had about 30 people. There was another one I tried to get into had 60 people because I'm like, well, it's a bigger network. But I would get involved in a local thing. Sutter talked about getting involved in one, right?
He was in one.
Or he may be, well, he probably isn't since he was traveling.
Oh, yeah,
but
maybe not now.
He said he got jobs out of it.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to get supplementary jobs. I just thought most of the people there were dicks.
Pretentious dicks.
So what I would do is wear my freaking rainbow t-shirt tank top to it, and then they would tell me that that's not professional. I said, well, this is what I wear to work. Go yourself. Michael Hurton. Yeah. Hey, Fro, do you feel under additional pressure when shooting now? Does being a personality up the ante in people's expectations? Or even are folks more critical of your work now? Don't care, question mark. What did that question just say? Do I feel added pressure on photo shoots? I feel the same pressure that I've always felt since day one on photo shoots. I want to perform well. That's all I care about and I feel like I'm going to get great photos every time I go out, but I still put pressure. You know this. Every time I come back, did we do a good job? What? Oh, that's the elevator.
I was like, what was that?
That was the elevator.
Okay.
That was somebody opening the door.
But every single time, everything we do, whether it's a photo job or if we're doing a video shoot, you're always like, did I do good? Did I do a good job?
I am like that. That is me. I am one of those people.
Why are we even doing this? This doesn't even make sense.
It's more like
this is
that.
Bullshit. Why are we doing this?
That's true.
I just said it in a nice way.
Brad Van Dusen, how do you feel about aspiring photographers? How do you feel about aspiring photographers that are guests bringing their cameras to weddings and try to show up the paid photographer by posting their photos first on social media? First off, let me say something here. I don't think they're trying to show up the photographer by posting their photos on social media first. But it's a bad thing to come to a wedding as a photographer yourself and try to shadow the photographer that's getting paid. I had a wedding last weekend. I didn't take a camera at all. That's not my job. I wasn't hired to do that. I have to stay out of the way.
I don't take mine to weddings.
You don't take these people, and I don't think that a bride or groom should post "Don't bring a camera" either. But if you're a professional photographer, you should know better than to bring a camera and try to do anything to the other people.
I should have known better than to bring mine.
I think if you're in like your seat taking pictures, I think it's decent. It's okay with the camera.
Right.
But if you're actually literally, like you said, shadowing the photographer, trying to get a better angle and just getting in his way or their way, that's a different story.
Let me see your shot.
All the photos that people take with their cell phones end up. I Snapchatted the wedding for fun the other day.
Yeah,
which was kind of funny. People liked it. Well, my friends liked it. They saw it and they thought it was funny. But stuff's out there instantly, and that's just the nature of the beast. You're not going to put up the photos right away. Martin Ray, hi Fro. Last question here, Joe, so you could start with the wheel. Do you think that an event photographer should insist that you enter your email address before you can view the relevant gallery? Well, no. Wow, that does vibrate the floor.
Yep.
Absolutely not. You should not ask people for their email address just to open up a gallery. That's stupid. That's let them look. Who cares? Let them look. 2, when buying a heavily watermarked image for social media use, do you think it right that the photographer removes the large watermark but keeps a brand watermark in the bottom right-hand corner? I think we talked about that earlier.
We did.
Loving the flash guide, and thanks for all the info over the years. So this second question we answered earlier about the Facebook posting and stuff like that. And then there's an empty page, which means I get to invent my own question.
Is that when you sing Taylor Swift, Blank Spaces?
Tay-Tay? A good one, Steven. So that is Flying Solo. I like the question. Good questions this week.
They were.
Lots of stuff to talk about. So now it's time to spin the Wheel of Fro. On the Wheel of Fro, we've got Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/Fro. They are part of the 30 critiques in 30 days. There's at least 15 of those and 15 Adorama Picks ones. Go get your free 14-day trial. Videoblocks.com/go/Fro. Lexar, which is the official card of RAWtalk. Black Rapid, I have my very own Black Rapid strap. Rode microphones, we use Rode mics each and every week. The blank space is the grand prize, that's why it's black. Adorama, sorry, that's why it's black. It's black.
It's black.
Good, what do we call that, a recall or a callback?
Both.
What is that noise?
That's your music to talk over the wheel.
Oh, I didn't know we had music to talk over the wheel. AdoramaPicks.com. You can use the code PXMETFRO30 right now to get 30% off all Luminives prints until the end of September.
That's great.
You got a Think Tank photo bag.
Can I get your bag?
Yeah, you have.
God damn it.
You have audioblocks.com/go/Fro. Lexar again. Adobe Lightroom. So you've got Lightroom right there to get the creative bundle.
I need that.
I can get you that.
It's great.
I need that so I can fix my pictures.
Get out of iPhoto.
Well, here's the secret to getting your photo. If you don't want to buy it, this is the secret to getting Lightroom for free for 30 days. They give you a trial for 30 days for the full program.
I probably have it though. Anyway.
I think you do.
But if you once you get it, you know you're going to want to use it. Question mark. Well, Rode microphone, question mark, borrow lenses for $250 in free credit, Fro prize, and back to the top for Squarespace. I'm going to spin the wheel right now. I have a person in mind that we're going to select. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because I know who you're going to pick.
Guess what time it is, Steven?
Wheel of Fro time. Ready for it? Woo!
It's 3:20.
Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The trouble I've found. The Wheel of Fro, that was a good spin.
That was a solid spin.
It's going to stop on a Fro prize. Nope. Question mark, borrow lenses. Question mark, borrow lenses. Question mark, borrow lenses. Congratulations to the person by the name of...
Somewhere on here. Wait for it.
There we go. Found it. Congratulations to Jarly Havdamo.
Ah, yes.
You are winning $250 in credit to borrowlenses.com. We are borrowing the XC10 currently from them, and that is that. So thank you very much, guys. We have come to the end of another show.
We have.
This has been RAWtalk episode number 149. Todd, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We have a couple of hashtags and things for you guys to track. We've got hashtag YesToddGames. or whatever I said.
No Todd Games.
Or no Todd Games.
Oh, God.
And make sure you at Frono's Photo so we see those, and you could also at I am Todd Wolf. And then the other one was the Pay Fro Critique or something.
And we had the
Fro you pay
Avirl
me.
and Jared
Hashtag
one.
Fro you
Oh,
pay
and then we
me.
had the Avirl and Jared one. So those are things that we want you guys to answer or see and do and whatever. For all the photo news and more, you can go to RAWtalk, FronosPhoto.com/RAWtalk-149. Those end up being up on Monday. And for anybody that's quick on the gun that listens overnight, just remember we're on Eastern Standard Time.
Hey Jared, I can't seem to find all the news
Where
articles.
are the photo news
Where
stories
are they?
at?
It's 12:01.
Give it
So
a couple hours.
Keep
It'll
in
be
mind
there.
that I put that up at around midnight. Steven has to go to sleep and wake up in the morning and do that. And
First
yes,
thing.
yes, we could probably at some point. Well, it would delay the release of it. If you want it out on Tuesday, he could do that. But we want it out on Monday.
Yep.
So that's the name of the beast. Morgan, see, are you learning Spanish in school? When does school start?
September 8th.
September-
Next Tuesday.
All right, so we don't get to see her again.
Nope.
Well, thank you for coming and hanging with us. No problem,
No
she
problem.
says. So we're going to leave it at that. Joe, stop sneezing. If you ever sneeze again during RAWtalk. Yeah, try to make it more like a womanly sneeze. That is a thing, too. All right, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Jared, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.